construct my list from memory.
Right. You can go whenever.
Okay.
Oh, I'm like, so who talks first? Talks first.
What a way to
Let's
start.
say
Restart.
go or something. Okay.
Restart.
3, 2. Okay. Hello and welcome to Otta Play It, Pretentious Tastes video game podcast. I'm Ott,
I'm Danny.
I'm Will.
and we have 2 special guests this week. Please introduce yourselves, special guests.
I'll go first.
Hi.
I'm just an idiot.
Oh.
I'm Chewy. I'm on the other podcast sometimes, or all the time.
I'm RJ, and I'm also on the other podcast all the time. And that's all you need to know.
We got no Indiana Jones here. No part times.
No.
Uh,
Last Crusade is the best movie.
real quick, RJ, isn't
I'll
that the
fight
only indie movie that you've seen?
What's the only indie movie that I've
Isn't
seen?
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull the only indie movie you've seen?
Wow,
Yeah, it
man.
is actually.
Better than
I
Last
saw that in
Crusade.
theaters.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is not better than Last Crusade, okay?
Not even. Okay,
I don't like
we're gonna have a-
Last Crusade.
You don't like Last Crusade? Last
No, I
Crusade's
don't.
like the
What?
best one.
No. I think
Excuse
John
me,
Connor.
Temple of Doom is the best one.
Temple of Doom
I
is
like
bad. That is not a good movie.
Temple of Doom is not bad.
It's
The Kingdom
not
of the
good.
Crystal Skull had aliens, huh?
Man, shut up, RJ.
Yeah, be quiet, RJ. Get out of this.
That CGI mastery that was the aliens and. I have
How
no
do you
feelings
think
for Indiana
Crystal
Jones.
Skull is better than Crusade?
I
Real
can't-
quick.
I don't like Crusade. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember just being like really dissatisfied with that, and then watching Last Crusade and being just like, I like evil Russian lady. That's cool, I guess. I don't know. This is kind of whatever. I don't have strong opinions about the Indiana Jones franchise.
Okay.
Ah, I see.
How do you feel about the Uncharted games?
I have not played them.
Okay. All right.
We'll be playing them eventually.
They're pretty good.
PlayStation 1, can you have to suffer through that?
Yeah,
Set it up.
one's a bit of a sufferer.
Well, not
game.
anymore apparently with the
Like,
remaster that they did
improvements,
recently. Yeah, they
Oh yeah.
Which in
They-
fairness is not totally its fault because it came out until in 7. We were still figuring out, like, it took a while before Gears of War can get its like talent into everyone. Because by the time Gears came out, Uncharted came out a year after that. So
Yeah,
any
Uncharted
decisions you
came
were
out.
going to make were already made.
and Gears 1 really doesn't play that well anymore either.
Yeah.
Like Gears
Well,
2
like back
was,
then, it was.
I'd say
comparable.
Gears 2 was probably the best cover shooter. That was the
I'll-
one that was like
I don't know. Gear 3 is like perfect. I don't think they could make another one. I don't think they should even be making Gears 1.
they
But
already
they
made
are
another
making
one.
another.
They've already
I
made
know.
another one, and they're making another one yet.
Yes,
Unless
they're
this one's
making
gonna be a
more.
survival horror game, which I hope it is.
It looks like it's. I think that trailer was more a callback to Gears 1 than.
Yeah,
survival
and
horror.
Gears 1 had horror elements in it that they just forgot about.
Well,
Yeah.
if you
Well, I
watch
mean,
the
yeah, a lot
Gears
of people-
1 trailer, it looks like a horror game. Like
And
the-
if
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It does.
I don't really get why it's getting so many comparisons to RE.
because it's
Oh,
a
that's
third-person
it's definitely
shooter.
RE4.
Yeah.
Like, in
Well, I
terms of
mean,
the way
like-
it's descended.
But
Yeah.
what I'm talking about is like, as Danny said, it's more of a callback to Gears 1 than it is to RE4.
Or are people
Yes,
saying
me.
Gears 4 is a callback to RE4?
I think
Yes.
Gears 4 the callback to RE1, not RE1 to Gears 1, which is
Yeah.
a callback to RE4. In ways.
It all goes
So-
back
so
to
it's a
RE4.
callback to a
Yeah,
callback.
Every
though,
every
so-
game
Yeah.
goes back to RE4.
It's
Every
true.
single
even
one.
roads lead to New
Even
York.
one of
Candy Crush?
my
Direct lineage.
yes.
Even
Like-
even Silent Hill 1 is a direct reference.
I don't think
To
you guys
Resident
know this, but RE4 was the first video game ever made.
I knew that.
It was
Oh,
It
it
was
was
the only
shit.
video game ever made.
it was the first piece of art ever made, actually.
Everything is DLC.
You can find the
For
code
Resident
carved on stone tablets.
And it's
Yeah,
RE4.
You
In Babylon,
Yeah.
Hammurabi's
Van
code on
Gogh
the other
took a
side of
lot-
the grindstone.
And
Van
lo,
Gogh took
Leon
a
did
lot from
stand
RE4.
still and point his gun at an enemy.
Sweet gun.
Leon in
Sweet pistol.
hieroglyphics.
Sorry.
No,
check
it
out
just
that
says in
knife.
hieroglyphics,
Does-
where'd everywhere you go? Bingo.
Amazing. So what have we? It's been a minute since the podcast has happened.
That's putting it mildly.
Third
So-
one or
It's been-
the second one?
This is like the
we still haven't
fourth
posted the
one.
most recent one.
Yeah. By the way, fun fact: I realized I uploaded that one to my personal channel and not the Pretentious Taste channel. So,
Danny,
but
God
anyway,
damn it.
the file is like on my computer waiting to be uploaded. But so like this is a very special cast. I think we should state that this is like the big blowout return, as well as talking about shit that happened last year. But before we do that, we're just gonna talk about some shit that we've been playing recently. So I mean, whoever wants to pick up this ball, we have 20 minutes.
Starting now.
Yeah.
I can pick this up.
All right.
Recently, as in like of the past 5 days, I've been playing through the Yakuza series.
Yes.
Interesting.
I am so far halfway through 3. And
Wow.
God, I don't know why I haven't played these earlier.
They're
This is
fucking
like-
incredible.
This is a game series. I actually remember this, and this is something from my past. I remember seeing the first game at a Blockbuster whenever I was like 10 years old, maybe. It was like 2000, came out in like 2005, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would have been like 9 years old. I was walking around a Blockbuster and I saw it, and I was like, "This looks really cool. Too bad I don't have PlayStation 2." Put it away. The next year, or next 2 years, I see the second one. This looks pretty cool, but I haven't played the first one. Put it away. And then it's culminated into like 10 years of waiting to play these games.
And now you're doing it.
And now I'm doing it.
Oh man, that's a game series that I recently played like in 2015 because I got recommended to it. And at first, I honestly thought those games were just like knockoffs of like Grand Theft Auto. Like I thought they were like
They're
the true
Shenmue.
crime series. Yeah, they're way
Yeah,
more like
Shenmue.
Shenmue. They're way more like Shenmue. When I first played that game, I was like, oh, this is like playing through Yakuza 1, I was like, this is the spiritual successor to Shenmue, like without the quick time events, and it's amazing. It's fucking amazing. And then I binged and played through like 4 of them. I think it was 4 or 3.
It's 4 of them. The 5th one just came out.
Yeah,
Like
but there was also the
Spawn,
zombie
right?
one. There was also the
That's-
zombie one.
That's Dead
Soul?
Nation or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
Whatever.
Isn't
It's called.
that Zero or something?
No,
Yeah.
Zero came out in Japan last year.
And that's coming this year at some point,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully. And then
I mean, they announced that at the PlayStation
then-
Experience.
Yeah,
And
and
then-
6 is coming out as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
6 is
6
coming
they're-
out hopefully
They're making it.
at the same time in Japan, but who knows. Yeah, so
Yeah,
what are you thinking of Yakuza?
It's fantastic. The first 2 games I had to play on an emulator because
Because they're
bull crap.
yeah.
They're hard as fuck to find.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of control problems with them, and a whole lot of screen issues. So I didn't get to play through them as one would hope to.
Yeah.
I didn't get to play them as I wanted, but hopefully we're getting that HD remake at some point. It just came out in Japan, so at some point we might get it.
Yeah.
So those, it got a little bit clunky, but now I'm at 3, and god damn it, I'm having the time of my fucking life with 3. 3 is great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing.
The fucking 2 chapters just being about running a fucking orphanage.
Yep. Those
Only
games,
only fucking Yakuza.
and it sucks that their name is Yakuza in the States, because only the first game is really about the Yakuza. And
Well,
like,
all of them have a little bit of a connection to it, but it's like a Dragon would be a much better fucking title for
yeah,
those
Like a
games.
Dragon is such a fucking better title. Like, Jesus Christ. Ugh. Good games.
I love those games. They're great. Fucking great. The combat's still a little bit weird, or at least it feels a little bit weird since I'm not used to beat 'em ups yet.
Yeah.
Getting into them is kind of hard after you've played so much like character action games, just such a similar style.
Yeah, I remember whenever I tried to play Lollipop Chainsaw, like, immediately after Metal Gear Rising, and just having the worst time of my fucking life.
Yeah, but you cannot break blocks in beat 'em ups.
Look, I think
The
Rising is, like,
fuck's
objectively probably the best character action game.
It's
It's
pretty
even
good.
better Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is it my turn to talk about what I've been playing?
So yeah, I think I've spent all my time on Yakuza. Go on,
Alright,
go.
Go on.
So I have come into possession of a nifty little device known as an Oculus Rift.
Are you
Oh, wow.
serious?
Oh, holy shit!
Yes.
Do they have one at your
I'm
college, or did you buy one, or what?
reveal.
my girlfriend's dad had one, and I am writing my thesis partially about virtual reality. So I asked politely, and I have a DK2.
Holy
Okay,
And-
fuck!
probably two.
Damn.
So
Technology.
and you wouldn't guess it, but the most amazing experience I've had with it so far has not been a first-person game.
Fair, yeah, okay.
Okay.
So there is an app for it called Virtual Desktop, which basically does what you expect it does. You just sort of have your desktop floating before you while you're suspended in space. And playing strategy games on that is the coolest fucking thing I have done in games in years.
Have you been playing
Do you
Europa
feel like God?
Universalis on it?
I've been playing XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Oh shit!
Man.
And like
Okay,
I
that's-
have this screen set up so it's sort of like curved around me, while like the backdrop is I'm floating in a literal star field,
Dude,
and just and everything's like slightly 3D, and it just you feel like this you feel and because like the image quality is slightly grainy because it's still the dev kit. It feels like I'm looking down on everything through like this drone while floating out in some space station, observing all my troops, and I feel like the coolest person who ever lived.
Slightly
It is
terrible.
That's pretty
incredible.
sick.
that sounds awesome. That sounds
Yeah, it
fucking
does sound
awesome.
really cool.
Not so awesome. Did you guys see the Oculus Rift's like price get announced?
Oh yes.
Whoa!
Yeah.
How much
What-
is it again?
$600, I think.
Oh,
Gonna get
yeah,
two
$600.
jobs, yo.
Yeah,
It's quite hefty.
and
Jobs and an enemy crab.
and I just can't wait for the Vibe and the
Oh man.
fucking. It's not called the Morpheus anymore, is it?
No, it's
It's
called,
called
VR.
the PSVR.
Oh,
but
that's
they're
awful.
Um,
Morpheus is
yes,
such a
No,
cooler
no,
name.
that makes sense though. It's if you just say VR, it's like oh, it's PSVR. It's like
Yeah,
it's biteable.
Yes.
Like it's easy to just remember.
but
yeah.
the Morpheus.
Morpheus is a
Did
better
you-
name, but I know why they chose PSVR.
Yeah.
Like I know.
Alright,
Like it makes
yeah.
sense.
Did you
But-
heard the rumors about how expensive the Vibe's going to be?
Yes,
Yeah,
I heard like what $1,300. Yes,
dollars.
That's
But-
a lot of money for a thing.
the-
It is
That's
a
a lot of.
the way I think I think it's gonna go is like most people are probably gonna own like, and I say most people as a general statement. I don't think most people are gonna have this, but I think like of the people who have VR, most of them are gonna have the PSVR, and then
Yeah.
Oculus will be like the middle ground, and then fucking the 1% of the 1% is gonna have the goddamn Vibe. Because not only do you have to have that money for it, you have to have like
have the ring.
the space for it as well,
Oh yeah.
because it's
man.
room VR.
They
Yeah.
do
Oh.
have,
Oh.
having tinkered around with like the Steam VR settings that they already have in beta on Steam over the last few days, they do have an option for standing room only, which alters things, but yeah, that's not going to be the most ideal experience.
Yeah, like it's such a niche thing that I really hope picks up. I'm excited for this market race. It reminds me a
Yeah.
lot of the transition to 3D, and I hope it's not just like
Uh-huh.
a gimmicky thing like motion controls were. Like
But-
which I'm going to ask you about. Do you think VR is the future?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has made me like want to go out and work a second job so I can afford the $600 consumer
Oh
version.
no.
Damn.
I'm not
I don't
going
want
to because I need to do things with my life, but it's.
I
it is
really don't want
incredible.
virtual reality to be the future.
I
Why's
think
that?
whether we like it or not, it's going to. be.
yeah.
But I don't want to be the future. I want to be be part of the
right.
future. But I don't want
mean-
to be the future.
I think
Well, I mean, I
in
don't think it's
time
going
it'll
to
get
replace
cheaper.
traditional stuff
Yeah.
anytime soon. It's going to, but I mean, there was something that one of the people said on one of the Giant Bombcast episodes a couple months ago about how it's probably going to be more an AR VR combo future, which
Yeah.
I think makes a lot more sense. Sort of like an all-purpose headset that you can sort of walk around with in your day-to-day life that gives you just sort of scrolling information a la Google Glass, but also then there's sort of a blackout mode. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. The thing that really sold me on the Oculus in general was I saw somebody playing this like Half-Life 2 tech demo that was made with it,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh holy fuck, that's incredible. And then Tabletop Simulator.
Yes.
It's interesting how like for the first thing I thought whenever I saw Tabletop Simulator with Oculus was, oh wow, D&D is gonna be fucking amazing, and
Oh,
then
man, yeah. Fuck.
it's like I think the apps are gonna be more interesting than like a lot of the games themselves for a minute, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a
Agreed.
given.
Yeah.
messing around with my desktop in outer space was more awe-inspiring than playing like some of the game demos I've got, which were still cool, but like just feeling like I was at like a space station console while writing my essays.
I can't wait for like a Star Wars like TIE fighting game to get ported to VR. That'll be the
God.
one.
No, they
That'll
remake
be the
Star
push.
Wars TIE Fighter.
Yeah, for VR.
Oculus.
Oh god.
You know, one game has sold me on all VR, and it's a game I played 4 minutes of when I was like, what, maybe 8? And that's when I saw, well, I was watching the PS, conference or whatever, and they're like, Res for VR. I'm like, alright, okay, I'm gonna buy one. How much
Res?
is
I've heard cool things about that.
Yes. Like,
Holy
it makes
shit.
so much sense. Like, I can't think of a game that makes more sense than Res in
Man.
VR. In terms of a total experience, like, I don't. It's perfect. Because it doesn't have to be hyper realistic, because it's really stylized and it's like almost vector graphics. And it's all about, like, the soundtrack is extremely, like, well, it's actually fundamental to that game. Like, not even. It's really important. No, that is that game. So. I'm sorry?
We truly have entered the cyberpunk future, haven't we?
Oh,
We're
man.
getting there. I'm waiting for Blade Runner to happen.
Except
I'm not, because I'm making a sequel. I don't want that shit. Get the shit out of here.
Hey, did you see what Harrison Ford said about that?
Fuck
What do you
that.
say about
No,
it?
he said it's the best script he's ever like read ever.
Oh, what are you doing, mate? What are
was
you
he
doing?
drunk when he said this?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Didn't
I
he
don't know,
star
it's
in like
Harrison
Crystal
Ford.
Skull willingly?
It didn't seem that
Can't trust-
willingly.
can't
he kind of
trust him.
phoned that in.
Yeah, he really
But I
did.
mean, his
phone it.
performance in Force Awakens was good.
No, he was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really, really
Yeah.
good. I was
Yeah.
surprised.
Because he knew he didn't have to. Well, I won't say anything.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Yeah.
That in
No
and of
fighting.
itself might have been a spoiler.
Shakira,
Yeah.
Shakira.
But, besides the Oculus, what have you been up to?
Mainly that. I picked up a bunch of games over Christmas and played like 20 minutes of them each, but then I had to go to a business camp. And let me tell you, networking is the worst fucking thing I've ever had to do.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, that sounds pretty awful.
But
Gotta
so
do
I've
it.
been there for the past 2 weeks, and I just got back to school, and now I'm finally getting to play games again. But it's all just been Oculus.
Have you tried fiddling around with pillars on it yet?
Not yet. That's a really excellent idea, and I will install that right
yeah.
now. on this
Let me
desktop.
know what you think about that, because I'd be very interested in that.
I played the first 45 minutes of it normally, and ran into some weird glitches, which made me stop playing it.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. And I also started playing League of Legends for
Oh.
Dear.
reasons related to networking, believe it or not.
I believe that.
Oh.
I absolutely believe
What
that.
a sentence.
Because the only reason that I had friends my senior year of high school was because I played League of Legends at that time. So I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean
Oh.
it's easy Dota, and I played a lot of Dota a couple years ago, so
Yeah.
it's just like, I will play this a few times and try and keep up with the esports scene, so I know what I'm talking about when people are like, oh yeah, that's the one game I play.
Yeah.
But
Why is League the one game that anyone ever plays?
I'll-
You don't need to play anything else.
I'll tell you why.
It is.
I was recently listening to an FGC podcast, and they were talking about how the FGC and esports, like in 2005, had this big meltdown, and that's why the FGC hasn't transitioned into esports yet, and also why fighting games aren't League, like why League and MOBAs are so big, and it's because MOBAs, most of them except Dota, are simple at first, and then they get Street Fighter technical, whereas with Street Fighter, you have to learn a bunch of inputs, and you have to learn all these fucking characters, and like with MOBAs, you just got your 4 abilities, you click, it's very simple and easy to get into, and then afterwards, it's when it hooks you.
See, I don't really understand that though, because it's like Street Fighter. I mean, I was playing Street Fighter when I was like a kid, and it's like you punch a dude or you kick him. That seems like it's simple as it can possibly get.
I
And then when you
understand
start
that.
to, yeah,
Yeah, but also, as soon as
It
like,
ramps up really fast.
yeah, well, I've got a lot of friends who like were trying, like me and Will have been trying to get into Street Fighter, and like the biggest thing for them is like, and which is why I think Smash is also like kind of like bigger. Like there are more tournaments for Smash,
Yeah.
and there's more money, and there's bigger Smash scenes is because of the
Than
easy
Street
fucking
Fighter?
inputs. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Smash makes more
Oh.
money than Street Fighter. does.
Smash makes a hell of a lot more money than Street
Well, I
Fighter.
guess it's just like Street Fighter is better supported by Capcom,
Yeah.
whereas
Yeah.
It's more sponsor supported, I guess.
Yeah,
Smash
the
just had a shaky
tournaments-
tweet there.
The tournaments for Street Fighter are much bigger
Yeah, they're huge.
in comparison, but you have a whole lot more
Yeah.
Smash
Yeah.
Bros.
Yeah, RJ, you've been having an adventure with that recently in your local scene, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been trying to find some sort of heartbeat in Street Fighter in my area. And I
Warner
found,
Brothers.
yeah, in Warner Brothers, and I found one tiny heartbeat, and I gotta follow that lead.
They
I
have
gotta follow it into a
I-
bar.
tell them about the thing that card shop does.
That's the thing. Oh my god.
That's not good.
There's a Heroes and Villains comic shop here, and they have like certain days for weekly stuff or whatever. And like Monday is My Little Pony trading card night.
Oh my lord.
Which I didn't even know existed.
Shit.
RJ's
Oh,
town has a
good.
bigger My Little Pony scene, the card game, than it does a Street Fighter scene.
The fucking
I'm
card
just gonna
game.
take a shot of this vodka now, I guess.
You know,
Fuck on a
these are the
Sega
things.
Saturn.
These
Holy
are the things
shit.
that make me really happy that I live in Austin, where there's an arcade like 20 minutes away.
Austin's like awesome though. I would go to Austin. So that's an awesome place.
There's a My Little Pony. Of course there is. Why am I even asking that question? Of course there is.
I knew that
God
there was
damn
an
it.
MLP TCG because the person who got me into Street Fighter played it.
Man, that meta must be crazy, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I was about to make that joke. Damn it.
Uh,
Yeah, Twilight Sparkle's real OP in this new block.
Oh,
oh fuck, that's good. That's real good.
Feel
It's real good.
unclean.
As-
So Art, are you finished?
Yeah, I'm finished. That's all I got.
All right.
What the RJ?
Yeah, we have Art. Yeah, let's might as well just go into RJ. RJ, what you been up to?
That's what he was doing.
Yeah. Well, no, I asked him about his scene because we got
Oh.
on topic of esports and shit. But
Oh, true, true.
RJ's gonna be right back.
oh,
According
I
to
didn't
this-
even see that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I'll go, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of just playing Splatoon and Rocket League, just alternating. That's it.
I've been wanting to
Like, I
get into
can't-
Rocket League.
Rocket
Rocket
League
League's real
is.
good.
We'll talk about that in certain
Oh,
categories.
oh, I'm
Yeah.
interested now. Wait, I think I know which one it is, but interesting.
Yeah. I can't really. That's kind of it. I've been doing other things that aren't video game related.
All right.
So
I guess I'll jump in real quick and I'll say been playing Diablo 3 Season 5 started 3 days ago.
someone
Yeah,
explain to
so
me the
that's action.
seasons. I
Okay.
don't understand it.
So,
'Cause I don't play Diablo.
Reaper of Souls implemented a lot of shit, and it really fixed that game. And they also implemented later on this thing called seasonals, which is essentially every month you start a new season where everybody starts out. If they make a seasonal character, you all start out at 1. You don't get any Paragon points, which is kind of like a account-wide level that all your characters have. So everybody starts off at the base playing experience, and you essentially level up throughout the season, however long it takes you. It took me 2 days to reach max level, and you have these like challenges that you can try to complete to gain pieces of gear or portraits for your character or little like what's the word? I guess fashion items basically. And on top of that, there are leaderboards. You get points from like completing certain achievements during the season, and whoever has the most points in the leaderboard is like the best demon hunter, or the best witch doctor, or the best wizard for that season, and they get special shit as well. But that's kind of the idea. It's not like hyper competitive. It's more about bringing life into the game every couple of months, which it definitely does, because a lot of people can like play at the same level. And the issue with like Diablo 3 is that there's no cap on Paragon points, so you could jump into someone's game, you could be like level 100 Paragon, and they could be like 2,000, and it's like this isn't equal. But for seasons at the beginning, everybody starts off at 1, and so it's a nice little way to get everybody playing again, I guess. It's the best way to describe it.
All right.
But I've been playing a lot of that, and I did want to talk about that briefly. I mostly play Wizard when I play Diablo, but I started playing Demon Hunter, and that's because basically what they got with this new what they're doing with this new season is you complete certain achievements, you just get these free pieces of set gear, which is like hyper rare gear. They're just giving it to you. A lot of people are calling it welfare gear. It's a really good way to get started and jump in.
Damn.
And the Demon Hunter's final set piece bonus for getting all this gear, and it took me 30 minutes to get all this gear, whereas if you were playing like last season, it would probably take you months to get this gear. It took me 30 minutes to get this gear because the achievements are real fucking easy. And the final gear boost is one of your abilities does 40,000% extra damage.
Fucking.
And so within the 3 days of playing this game, I am already playing on the hardest difficulty, one-shotting final bosses. It is the most ridiculous thing. I feel like I fucking hacked the game. And every time I jump into
Hack the planet.
yeah, every time I jump into, it blows my mind how nobody else is playing Demon Hunter right now. Like, it's not the most popular class right now. The most popular class is Wizard, and their final set bonus is fucking bugged. So they can't do like anything. But
Man,
it's ridiculous. I'll jump into like someone's like 4-player thing in like Torment 10, which is the highest difficulty, and we'll get to like the final like Rift Guardian, and I'll just fucking one-shot him, and then the people who don't know what that does will be like, are you hacking or something? Like, that shouldn't be possible. And I'm like, read my set bonus, and it's fucking amazing.
Man, I bet those particle effects look real good in VR.
I wouldn't know. I have to play on like low and like 800 by 600.
Damn.
It's awful. I don't even feel like I'm playing the game. I feel like this is like a bastardization of it.
Damn, you got that Crisis 1 life.
I played through that game at launch on a laptop, a netbook, and I was getting 13 frames per second through the whole thing.
Oh man.
It's cinematic though.
Yeah, that is cinematic.
If by cinema you're referring to like 1930s cinema.
Yeah,
But
man.
yeah,
How
man.
about that life?
The Diablo is a lot of fucking fun again, and that's always
Diablo.
nice. Besides that, I have also been playing. I've been playing Minecraft.
Really?
Because.
Man, what are we even doing? LOL, Minecraft?
Yeah.
What's going on? The hotness of 2012.
2016 is 2012 part 2. But yeah. Besides that, Minecraft. So. Let's just jump right into this shit.
Rub my hands together.
So our first category is best surprise, which is essentially a game that you were thinking about playing or that you did play. Let me rephrase. It's a game that you thought was going to be shit, you played it, and you were very happy with what you got. So, if anybody would like to start this off.
Can I add one thing? What about you can also apply like the game you had no expectation from it, not necessarily bad or good. You just didn't pay attention to it, or you just tuned it out.
Well, yeah.
It turned out to be really good. Yeah.
So who wants to
the
start
game
this
that you didn't expect anything from?
Yeah.
Okay.
So are we trying to settle on like a single one for the site?
I think we can get to that during discussion, but at first let's just everybody do one, and then we'll do it. But yes, a single one for the site would be nice.
Okay. So you're gonna start.
Yeah, who wants to start?
I can go.
All right, go, Will.
Undertale. I picked that up with no knowledge.
That's a real good one. That's a real good one.
I had no idea what I was getting into whenever I got that, and I got it, and it's fucking awesome.
Yep. All right, who wants to go next? That's really good.
I can't say the same for I haven't played Undertale yet, so
It's a good game.
I think my biggest surprise of this year was probably Soma, actually. That was a game I went in with little to no expectations. A friend of mine had it on his PS4, said, hey, this is the game from the people who made Amnesia. And I was like, okay, that sounds fun. And I played it in one sitting, and I was just like, wow, this is probably one of my favorite games ever released, actually. So yeah, I think Soma's probably that for me.
Still want to play that.
I'll go next, and I'm gonna apologize in advance because I know it's already someone's here. They don't have to say anything, but I know it's theirs. I'm gonna go with Until Dawn.
Oh, Until Dawn's a good one. Until Dawn's a really good one.
Now, and here's the funny thing: I didn't even play that game, but here's why I choose that game. Because the run up to that game had one of the longest lead times for development. That game was on the PS3. That thing was a move game, solely a move game. That thing was completely different. Like the tone and everything they showed for it, like maybe 2 years ago when they brought it back, is completely different.
Yeah.
And everything, like leading up to that game, all the zeitgeist, everything I read about it, everyone's like, "Oh, this game's gonna be shit. Oh, this game's gonna be shovelware. It's gonna be bad." And then the game comes out, and everyone's like, "This is really good." Like to the point where the reason I put it here is because not even Sony was expecting it to do as well as they did.
They buried that thing.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think I can agree with you there. I think
Like-
Until Dawn's my choice actually. I'm gonna
Until
take
Dawn.
X on
Real
it. I
good.
agree with Until Dawn because Will showed me the original trailer for that game that
Yeah.
they did like E3.
Oh yeah,
20
yeah.
for that game.
I can agree with Until Dawn also.
Because and that trailer is so fucking terrible. And Will and I were just roasting on it the entire time. We were like, "Wow, this is a David Cage game made not by David Cage. It looks incredible." Yeah, I thought that game was gonna be a steaming pile of shit, and then I see everybody talking about how good it is. Finally, it's a great rental. That is like
Oh yeah,
Fucking
it's a perfect rental.
incredible rental material.
As someone who paid full price for it, it was totally worth that too, because passing it off to my friends and watching them
Yeah, I
make
would say
stupid
I would
fucking
buy it
decisions
full.
is so
Yeah.
satisfying.
It works on so many levels, I think,
Mhm.
in that regard.
So, Ott, what about you?
So I 100% agree with Until Dawn. That is real good, but for me personally, Bloodborne.
Wow.
I have-
Yeah, because you don't
Oh
like the
yeah,
Souls.
because you
yeah,
don't
I
like
have-
Souls.
Oh.
Voiced
Okay.
many times on this site that I do not like the Souls games. I respect them, but they do not click with me. I do not like sort of the core sort of design philosophy around them of the grinding to get perfect at specific runs and the like. But and while Bloodborne does still, of course, adhere to a lot of that, the setting goes a long way to making me
does.
tolerate it more. And additionally, sort of the moving away from the more RPG elements. I feel it's much more of an action game than an RPG
Absolutely.
compared to
Yes.
the Souls games, and
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
appealed to me much more. I didn't play a ton of it. I beat the first two bosses and then went on vacation and then fell away from it because so much other shit was coming out. But I was really shocked that I liked it, and it's definitely on, if not my top 3, my top 5 of the year.
Yeah, I feel that. I can't say that Bloodborne was exactly a surprise for me.
It wasn't a
Finding out
surprise
that
for me either.
Miyazaki was directing another Souls game, I just knew it was going to be gold.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just if Miyazaki's name is on this game, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, because the man.
He knows how to make good shit.
fucking hitter. Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and Bloodborne are all fucking 10s for me, honestly.
Is he doing 3?
He is doing
Yes.
3.
Yes.
Yes.
And fun fact, he didn't do Old Hunters, so keep that in mind if you're thinking about picking up the Old Hunter DLC.
Trey Old Hunters is
I-
really good
I-
though.
I've heard
I
it's
knew he-
mediocre.
I
heard
knew he
it's
didn't do.
hard.
I heard
the
it
Old
has
Hunter.
dope ass weapons.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah,
more
but
Bloodborne,
that's-
which is, that's cool.
It's I think it's the same people who made Dark Souls 2
It is.
that
It
came
is
and did
beefy.
it, and awesome weapons is what they're good at.
That is true. Dark Souls 2
They
had
are
a lot of
good.
great weapons.
At making awesome weapons.
There's that weapon that lets you like Hadoken and drop kick and
Yes.
shit. That's cool. But yeah. So yeah, my picks Until Dawn. Chew your picks Until Dawn. Will.
RJ, what about you?
I was
Oh, I
Undertale.
personally didn't have any surprises this year of the games that I played. So that's no fun.
You had a bad
Get in
surprise.
the corner, RJ. Get in the corner.
You had a bad surprise, which
Oh. Yeah, but we have a
we can
category for
segue
that.
into right now.
Wait,
Oh.
so have we decided on a...
My
should we
vote's
discuss right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I-
full 100% Until Dawn.
We
Alright,
got
Until
two
Dawn.
we got two Until Dawns. I'm okay
I-
with an Until Dawn.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Otta,
Until
you
Dawn.
okay with an Until
All right.
Yeah, no,
Until
I
Dawn.
love Until Dawn.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a good sight one then, I guess.
All right.
All right, Until Dawn.
There, put your fucking awards music right there. And
I'm gonna say this.
Let-
It's-
and then it just
John fucking, who did John Cena?
that was
Who
a
just
lot.
did that? Get out of here. Go shoot.
My name's on the podcast title, yo.
I don't care. Shoot.
So let's segue right into the shitter. What was the biggest disappointment for
Oh,
you guys?
Oh, I got a rant.
Oh, this is gonna get.
I got a rant as well.
Yeah.
Pull out your knives, boys.
This is the rant section, is what it is.
The rant section has
Fuck
arrived.
it. I'm gonna do it. I'm going first.
Go, Dan, go.
Metal
Go.
Gear Solid 5, man.
Oh.
What a oh god, what a bad taste in the mouth.
Mhm.
Oh, and
Keep it going, Dan.
okay. So not only we get pitched that this is the game that's going to fill in the missing link. Not only does it not
Again.
fill in the missing link, it creates more missing links.
It creates a bigger link.
It
It makes a hole.
it tries to do the same twist that a previous Metal Gear game does, and then just fails horribly. And on top of that, it's unfinished. So I mean, take what you will.
Yeah.
This game was getting preached as the second coming of Christ. It's the game that
Let's
made
do
me
this.
pick up the Metal Gear franchise because I saw the Red Band trailer for Metal Gear 5 and went, well, it's time to play those games. And
Likewise.
I literally like went out, played Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3. I played all of them just to play MGS 5 and get the first 20 minutes like, oh man, this is incredible. You got this awesome like cover of Man Who Sold the World playing. You got this really interesting survival horror-y like prologue. The game lets you loose. The first couple missions you're having a fucking blast, and then you realize that's the entire game. It was such a letdown.
The game promises you a big boss and gives you a sandwich instead.
Well, and let's talk about the shitty stuff surrounding it with the online
Oh,
and
yeah,
all the fucking
like-
shit at Kojima.
See, that's a bigger deal for me. That stuff was. That stuff made the game hard to go back to.
Yes, I cannot go back to it because of the stuff they do with the FOB, like
Yeah,
taking away your resources and putting it offshore unless you're online.
It's
Oh.
Why would you do that?
Ooh.
Konami.
I haven't replayed that game since September 10th.
It
I have
was
not gone back to it in a while.
it was such a disappointment that you have a subreddit dedicated to trying to figure out that it isn't a disappointment. Like
Yep,
Look,
I love
Danny,
that subreddit.
that was
Alright,
a pretty
yes.
good subreddit.
Whenever we talked about on the podcast, remember how I said I thought that I was about halfway through the game?
Yeah.
That was the second to last level.
Oh, man.
I
think,
felt like I was halfway through the game.
I think that sentence summarizes Metal Gear Solid 5 up perfectly.
Man, remember how glowing we were on that podcast too? We were just like, man, this is so good. And then like 5 minutes after that,
How does this happen?
I mean, it had good moments. I will say that it's the tightest playing Metal Gear probably out of all of them. Maybe
It feels amazing.
Maybe Peace Walker.
Yeah.
But it's
Peace Walker had
definitely.
those mechanics.
But I don't know. It's definitely the tightest playing probably.
See,
Yeah,
my thing is, I guess I just have more of a premium on gameplay because that was one of the best games I played last year. So MGS5. The story wasn't as good, really, at all.
I
At some
can't.
point,
But like, I would be able to agree with you if it wasn't for the entire second act being filled with replay old missions.
see,
on all your
the,
different-
Yeah.
the second act is clearly unfinished, and I mean, well, technically it is finished. They get put together and out the door as much as that counts. But we all
That
know.
doesn't count, Chewie.
But I mean, technically it's finished. I mean, if you want to be technical, it's finished in that
It's
way.
Finished.
But like, it's not done well. The second act. But I've put up with things in other games that were worse draws for me, and still come out with going like, this is a pretty good game. I don't know.
Yeah.
I put like 99 hours or so in that game by the time I was done.
Oh, I put
just-
plenty of hours into it.
Oh, yeah.
I
I
just enough to know I didn't want to play anymore.
I had so many great moments, like so many like eureka moments with that game, and like toying with the AI, which is actually really good in that game. And it just, I don't know. The next time we're gonna get a third-person action game that feels that good, but it's not gonna be for a while. Maybe until Kojima does his next game or a Platinum game. But I just love that game. I really, really did, in spite of its fucking glaring problems.
And you know I think the one silver lining to all this is that Kojima is free.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is free. That's very true.
Metal
the
Gear
fact
had
that
to be
the Fox
sacrificed so that he would be free.
the fact that the Fox engine is in the hands of Konami is what
Oh, that's terrible.
that's what bums me out.
That's
Sauron
the
has
real
the
villain.
one ring now.
Yeah, actually, because the Fox engine's fucking incredible.
Oh,
Yeah,
And it's just a damn shame that
Look,
you know.
the Fox engine's great, and it's now going to go into pachinko machines.
No, they announced that they're doing more Metal Gears,
Yeah.
and I don't think they're just gonna let the Fox engine sit there. And like
I mean,
honestly, with the
yeah.
bastardization of the story that was Metal Gear Solid 5, I don't care what the fuck they do next. Like I don't. If they just give us another game that's even remotely fun, I'll buy it for like $20.
You see, the thing is, I don't even think they're gonna do that. Like a lot of the gameplay design, like a lot of the mechanics and stuff, are gone with Kojima, and like a lot of the people he took with him. Like I think the leadership is gone too. So like whatever the hell they're gonna do, it's not gonna play as well, and the story's probably not gonna be as.
I
good.
just, man, I'm just trying to have hope because Konami
Let
really
me
burned
be an
me with
optimist,
Silent
man.
Hill Homecoming and
I like
Downpour,
that.
and I just don't want it to happen to Metal Gear. But you know
Dan-
what? Maybe
Dan,
it's
it's-
I
time
like
to
how the
open my
hope
eyes.
is. I'll buy it for
No,
$20.
don't have
It's
hope.
been-
Hope is a mistake.
It's been so hard to be a Silent Hill fan since 2005.
It's been so hard to be a Konami fan since
I'm
fucking
never the Konami fan.
2005.
They can go fuck themselves ultimately.
Look,
Yeah, no,
I've
okay,
never been
look,
getting out of
look,
games and it's
Silent
like a fucking police state in there.
2005. You had like 2004. You had like the Silent Hill and the fucking Castlevanias and the Contras and the Metal Gears.
Castlevania. Oh right.
Castlevania was
Oh
always pretty
yeah. Also, that guy got fucking assed out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ego's gone.
Y'all
Now
like
he's making
Lords of
Castlevania.
Shadow 2?
God.
Lords of Shadow 2 is the best game ever made.
Look,
Here is your check.
there was a time where,
Thank you.
where Konami was shitting out good games, and it's just
Shitting out good games.
Time is gone.
The time is not this year or ever again.
But yeah, there's mine. I'm sorry I took so long with it.
They were shitting gold, but then at one point they just stopped.
I just want to say real quick, Chuka put worst dev of the year for a topic, and I want to say real quick, we all know that that's Konami.
Yeah, we are.
I don't
why
know.
not
I
just-
think we need to have a
we-
discussion.
just throw it
Uh,
out.
Maybe EA, but I think Konami is the worst because of the police state. Like EA fucked Battlefront, but at least they're
They
That
not
also-
game's playable. That game's
fascists.
fun for what it is.
They didn't fuck Battlefront the way they fucked Battlefield 4.
I liked Battlefield.
I actually really like Battlefield 4.
Yeah, I
Battlefield
like
4 got
Battlefield
way
4.
better. I
Yeah,
like
it did,
Battlefield
it
4,
did.
but at launch it was a fucking disaster. Battlefront at least played well and looked good.
It
Even
looks
if it
Yeah,
was
for
amazing.
the for the
round.
for the 5 minutes that you decide to play it.
Yeah, for 5 minutes that you're playing it.
And they gave us the chance to play 5 minutes for free with the beta,
Yeah,
which I did,
That
and then I
game-
didn't buy the game.
That game was beautiful.
as Mega64 put it, that was the best game demo of all time. They gave you 99% of the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hope they can
I'll-
give us the real game soon.
I'll go next with my biggest disappointment because this one hurt deeply. So the original game, I wrote a one of my final papers on the original game, and I did really well. I think on that paper I got like a 97 or something like that. So the original game is Hotline Miami. So Hotline Miami 2 comes out. I am so hyped. That's one of the most hyped games. I'm like, when's it gonna come out? I have no idea. But I loved Hotline Miami 1 was like amazing in so many ways because first of all, it took Drive, which is such a weird movie, and it made it into this weird, like, top-down kill box game that actually had a story, like, an interesting, like, concept. But it was so simple in what it did. It just, I love, economical design that has, like, so little, kind of like Undertale, which we'll probably talk about later. The elements themselves, they're not, okay. Watch Dogs is a game with so many elements that it doesn't know what to do with half those elements, and they just seem undercooked. Hotline Miami is a game that it uses its music for parts of storytelling, and it uses like the small boxes, like the puzzles, and knowing how you can like maneuver through those environments to really make just a generally tight design from top to bottom, like everything feeds into everything. So Hotline Miami 2 comes out, and I'm like, I can't fucking wait. Boot that thing up, and I'm like, okay, it's all right. Oh no, why these levels are so big though? And in 8 hours, I'm like, oh my god, the same dude that has been killing me from the corner, who I can't see, is now somehow in another corner who's killing me. And on top of that, the story's starting to make less and less sense. And the reason why it's the biggest disappointment to me is because, like, it highlights that small degrees of changes in like any kind of project you're doing, any like design, like guiding design philosophy, or anything like that, any blueprint. If you add too much salt to anything, you'll just fuck it up, and you can't repair it. And so this game decided to go bigger in all the ways it didn't need to. They literally could have just made new levels and called it Hotline Miami 2, and that would have been better. But they didn't.
I don't think that
This
game
is
took
soundtracks.
3 years to make
Oh no, it didn't. It did not.
No,
because
I-
it still
but,
has a lot of the same bugs that Hotline 1 did. Like the AI still does really stupid things. Honestly,
It's kind of like the same game, but with bigger levels and more chances for you to die.
but it's not
Yeah,
even the
which
same
pissed
game
me
because they
off.
took a lot of the core mechanics out. Like the mask thing was really, I really liked the mask thing from Hotline 1. And in Hotline 2, you're playing as these different characters that you have no control of switching over, and it was more, oh, we're gonna try and give you a more cinematic experience, and I feel like they just fucked it all up. I agree with you.
The thing about that is, on paper, like I wouldn't even be that mad if they got it right, because there are some elements that are kind of interesting, where it's like, oh, this dude is like a reporter on the
I think there
train
are, yeah, I think there are a lot of story bits and all that
that are
stuff in
interesting.
2 that are interesting. Maybe not the best executed.
No, no. Like there's that one level where you're an actor, and it probably most succinctly like grabs onto what made Hotline Miami 1 so interesting in terms of what it has to say about violence, where you're playing a murderer. Like you're
Yeah,
playing a murderer in a movie, but you're also playing a murderer in the game.
that
And so the way those two
yeah.
things interact is really interesting.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
everything
and the
just
actor just kind of falls off the face of the earth in that game.
yeah, it's just but there's just too much of everything. It's like why? It was perfect. It was so pure. You just I don't. Who were you listening to? Was this made out of like? This kind of feel like MGS2 except not good.
Yeah, yeah.
Like MGS2 is a
Yeah,
game partially made out of Kojima like, oh, you want fucking more? Like you want more Snake? Or here's some fucking Snake. That's what this game kind of feels like. It's like, oh, you want more of this? Well, here's what you want. And there's just levels where it's like you're just an army dude who's apparently
the
the
army
pizza
dude
dude from the
sucks.
first game, and it's like, why am I killing all these people? This flashback barely even makes sense. What the fuck is going on? And the story ends kind of in a cool, weird
It,
Scarface way, but
it
it's
ends with like a
like,
nuclear explosion or some shit.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it just
But
and it exposes this whole, I think, American, Russian like feud, which was actually what they alluded to in the first game, but it's just too
but
much.
so here's a question for you. Do you
Okay.
think that it being too much and inspiring all this ennui in you was sort of the point?
I think, but it's like my problem with that is like that becomes like art design in a way that I'm not down with. Like that
Well, I
becomes
mean,
more about. I'm sorry.
what if Metal Gear 5 was just supposed to make you feel like you
Yeah,
have a phantom pain?
exactly. That's like the other side to that coin, which is why it was only
But
half
here's
Yeah,
my
worth.
no,
thing
fuck
though.
that. Fuck that.
MGS5 was a fun game. Like it had good mechanics. This game's mechanics are fucked. Like they
Yeah,
permanently fucked them. Like completely. Because they just took the one thing about Hotline Miami. It's like, okay, if you get killed in a room, it's trial and error, but eventually you figure out who is where. And then you can do like lightning runs and just
like,
go through and then you're just into the zone. You can't do that in this game, and it makes the game
well,
fundamentally
yeah,
less
yeah, yeah.
fun.
The point of
Yeah.
Hotline Miami 1 is there's supposed to be a point where you as the player go, okay, I need to stop thinking, you just go postal. And then you go
Yeah.
It,
postal and you beat the level, and you're like, oh, that's that. Okay.
there's a thing where it's either you go postal or you've died so many times that you figured out how every single character fucking moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like it's that's really good narrative design in the mechanics, but it's like either way you get into this weird trance. Like many times I look at my laptop, like when the game came out, just playing it, and I remember one time my brother came in, and I was in the middle of a level, and he was looking at me, looking at the screen, and I didn't realize he was there because I was so focused. Because it's like a good design between like you're this killer, and the music is
The
really
music is so good. The music
it's
makes
so
that
Yeah,
game for me.
the
Like,
music
incredible.
is great.
It's so incredible in what it does, not only like just being good, what it does narratively, what it does for the aesthetic, that you're in this weird cocoon of death, and then the level just end, and then there's no music, and you're like, wait, what's
yeah.
going? This like every time I finished a level, I felt unwell in a way. Like I felt not like actually emotionally like, oh, this is not.
Yeah, and then the game narrative chastises you for it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like, oh, do you like killing? And that fucked me up. Like, why are you doing this to me?
yeah,
And fuck you.
it's good. It's real good.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah,
it's a very Metal Gear Solid thing to do.
Yeah.
yeah, and then Hotline Miami 2 is just not.
It tries.
Yeah,
It
some
tries to
fun
mix Metal Gear
parts.
Solid and Tarantino.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah, oh
Tarantino.
my god, they tried
Man, that
Tarantino,
sounds
but
like a
it
great
fucking
idea.
fails. Oh man, but yeah, that's mine.
Mhm.
I feel you.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I guess I'll go
You
next.
can go, yeah.
Yeah, go what?
Let me tell you about a game called Batman Arkham Knight.
Oh boy.
Okay.
First, let me ask you, did you get it on PC?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I say one
Um,
thing before you start? That
Go
thing
ahead.
at least ran really well, and it looked really damn nice on the PS4.
Oh,
Not much
yes,
I'll
it
say.
did. Oh, yes, it
Yeah.
did. I will get there. So, Batman Arkham Asylum is my fourth favorite game of all time.
Yeah, Arkham
It's the
Asylum's
best
fucking
Batman.
incredible. Yeah.
Best one.
I
Better than
really
Arkham City.
good.
I don't
adore that
understand
series. I even like Origins. I think Origins is real good.
Damn.
Oh.
And
Okay.
Okay.
I think it evolves the series. I'm not here to defend Origins. Arkham Knight is just the most. It's such a whimper of a conclusion to this fantastic trilogy of games.
Oh.
And is it okay if I spoil things on this?
I mean,
I don't think anybody here gives a fuck, and I think we all know
Yo.
who the Arkham Knight is.
yeah, I already know.
I'll
him.
say-
Yo,
Okay, so there are two sides to the. So the story's bad.
Yeah.
First off, they find a way to cram the fucking Joker back in for the entire length of the game, which and granted, I think they do kind of an interesting thing with the way it concludes.
Yeah.
But you put him to bed already. You killed him.
Literally.
You just don't keep bringing him back because and I guess that just exposes a problem with the Batman mythos is that there's no
Yeah.
one really interesting apart from the Joker.
That's
But
a
try.
lie.
That's
No,
a
no,
big
no,
lie.
try.
That's a big
No
fat
one wants to
lie.
try.
I mean, it
No
could
one
have
wants
just
to
been about Batman. Like, just Batman.
Bane
give me
is
an
so
internal monologue for
fucking
Batman.
cool.
Yeah,
Bane is
Bane's
cool,
all right, but they don't try.
They don't
Yeah,
try.
they
You're absolutely right.
And
Where
then
the
the other
fuck
problem
was Scarecrow?
Yeah, where the fuck
Like,
was
how
Scarecrow?
Okay,
Yeah.
Scarecrow had the coolest part in the original Arkham. In the original Arkham game, his part is one of the best. Like, I did not see
You
this
know-
shit coming in any
that is,
video
you
game
know-
ever
I,
made.
like,
You
I
know what
wrote
they
about
did?
that sequence in my thesis. That's how good that
Do you
sequence
know what they
is.
did with the Scarecrow? They made him DLC.
Are you
He's
serious?
a DLC thing.
Are you
Yes.
serious?
Because,
In the
like-
season
because, like-
pass, you get three levels. You get three
Even-
Scarecrow levels.
Are you-
Even in
what?
like Arkham City, there were like little Easter egg hints that were like hinting at Scarecrow in the next game or whatever.
I mean, Scarecrow was in Arkham Knight. It's
Yeah,
just
he
his
was-
segments weren't in Arkham Knight.
Oh.
They did. So,
That was just the
Okay.
that was the saddest O I've ever heard.
oh, oh.
He has so much. There's just so much.
Okay, so moving on about the plot.
Okay.
Also, as someone who has read 0 Batman comics in his life, I should not be able to guess who the Arkham Knight is within 5 minutes of.
Do you
meeting.
remember when
And-
they said that?
And
It's not him.
Yeah.
You won't guess.
All
You'll never
new-
guess.
all
It-
new character, guys.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
All new character.
And it's
Art-
and they telegraph
Hey.
it so poorly, so
Yeah.
obviously, so shittily, and it's just and then it's just like a woof of an ending that like you and then you find out you have to go do a bunch of their side stuff to get like the actual proper conclusion, and most of that shit is gated behind these terrible fucking Riddler challenges
Oh my
with
god.
your fucking
Hey
car,
man, the Riddler challenges were races. There's
which
big
were
races.
shit.
What?
And, okay, and here's the worst part about the Riddler challenges. So I did all that. I did all of those fucking races. I did all those puzzles and stuff, only to get to this thing where he comes out of the ground in his little bulb pod thing, whatever. It's like, okay, we're gonna fight after you find all my question marks scattered across the city, bitch.
Okay, yeah. That's. I actually
Ugh.
I did every single little thing in that game because it's kind of a thing with me in the Batman games is I always do all of the Riddler things and I complete the game. That's a thing I've always kind of done. I did that with this one, and that one's just a really big fucking cock tease, man.
It's so bad. I was just like, nope, I'm not
Oh.
gonna do this. I'm done with this.
I love
It's- okay,
Arkham
so
City
that's-
so much.
so-
and I mean,
The plot is such a bunch of shitty fits and starts, terribly telegraphed, like using so many crutches to get through. So then more on the game design. So first off, the boss fights, or rather the lack thereof. Boss fights have never really been the series' strong suit. Like those were some of the weaker parts of the first
Okay,
game.
Mr. Freeze was awesome.
Mr. Freeze wasn't in the first game.
Do you guys remember the Joker
Okay, I
boss
thought
fight
you
at the
seen
end of
the
the
arc
first one?
games.
It was so dumb.
It's not good.
That's the worst. Like
Yeah.
that's got to be one of the worst
But-
boss fights. That's up there with Fat Man. Like,
Oh
But
yeah.
they were getting
oh, yeah.
better. They were getting better. They like Arkham Knight or not Arkham Knight, Arkham City. They had like the Mr. Freeze fight, which was super cool.
yeah.
Had
Arkham
the
Origins,
Bane.
even though they didn't
Yeah.
develop it, had I thought the final encounter with Bane, while not like the best boss of it all time, was like a really interesting step forward for the franchise. It felt really tense. It felt like a Metal Gear Light in some ways. I really liked that encounter. And then in Arkham Knight, there are almost zero boss fights. It's just like, oh, here you're in the car and here's this helicopter. Go crazy. And then
shoot it.
5 hours later, 7 hours later, there's, okay, you're in this building, the Arkham Knight's over here, and he has a sniper rifle, sneak up on him and hit him in the face. Fuck you. Come on, give me, just the, like, absolute lack of boss fights, and then when they were there, they were just shit. Was just such a heartbreak. You see, it's like they're climbing this mountain, just like slowly getting better and better about what they're doing, and then they just like jump off.
Did you do the Riddler boss fight? Wait,
No, because I would have had to collect all of those trophies.
It's the boss fight for that. You have to switch between Catwoman and Batman depending on what his the color is. It's a relatively interesting fight. Too bad you have to complete the game to do it.
Exactly. If that sounds kind of interesting. Why did they gate that behind like 300 fucking stupid trophies hidden throughout this world that I'm never going to bother to go find? And that's not the worst part of the game.
Oh man.
It gets better.
Let's talk about the Batmobile and how that is the worst.
Whoa.
Hold on a second. Let me say my piece.
All right.
I think driving around the city in it, just like careening around corners and bashing through lampposts and stuff, that's real cool. It looks cool.
Burnout.
It feels
it's awesome.
Jumping off a building and summoning the Batmobile right underneath you and jumping in and just speeding off into the night, that's cool as shit. But then you have to turn into a tank, and you have these stupid wave-based encounters that feel like the worst sort of filler. It's like, I think I described it in my review as a lazy DM just throwing goblins at you while they frantically try to think up something else to do with a terrible story. It's just, it felt like the worst sort of filler. It was like cotton candy, essentially. Just airless, but way too much of it, and it makes your teeth feel really awful. It was just such a, they were hyping it up as this big new tentpole for the franchise. And then it's just this, like, visually cool thing that is just, it turns it into another crutch for them to rely on to hide the fact that they don't have anything really interesting going on in the design overall.
I feel like a big thing with the tank was that it's like something that they came up with for like 3 uses, and then they were like, hey, we can just keep putting these everywhere.
Exactly. If it had been 1 or 2 counters, that would have been okay, but it was like 10. It was just like always like a barrier on the way to something more interesting. It's like, I need to go do this thing, which might be kind of cool with confronting the Scarecrow and whatever. Oh, look, here's a bunch of tanks. Great.
Do you guys know what game also did that? That just threw tanks at you.
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Metal Gear Solid.
But okay, here's my thing about Metal Gear Solid 5. There are a bunch of ways to attack these tanks if you wanted to.
Hey, we're not talking about Metal Gear Solid 5. We're talking Arkham Knight.
I'm just saying. I'm like, credit where credit's due.
And I do want to acknowledge a few cool things that the game did. There was a side mission with Hush that was really cool.
Yes, I love Hush. Why does no one use Hush?
Is that the one in the tower or whatever?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that one was pretty cool. It was like
that was
the closest they got to Scarecrow
Hush?
moment. Yeah.
Because very few people have heard of Hush, and you need name recognition.
I love Hush.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna say right now, I've read a lot of Batman comics. I just forgot who Hush is.
He's the one who he's the one who's
oh, him. Yeah.
He changed his face and everything to look like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think even without like the background context, it's still a really interesting flip of things. Where like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What do you mean he's there? I'm here. Who's that guy? Like, it was still really. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I saw
Graham.
like. Huh? What was that?
That reference. I said he's Joshua Graham. He's okay. All right. Fair enough.
I feel like I should know this reference. I feel like I know it.
I feel like I should too.
It's Fallout New Vegas, the guy with the bandages all over.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Fell into the canyon thing, and then the Honest Hearts. Yeah,
one of the coolest characters with one of the worst DLCs.
But
that DLC was
with
fine.
The mission. Whenever you see the back of Bruce Wayne's head and he pulls up a gun, I just start freaking out.
Yeah, that was real cool.
Yeah, it's just
Man, what if Hush had been the main character? What if that would have been the main villain? What if it wasn't Scarecrow?
So, what if it was someone interesting?
Well, so you guys are telling me that the main character shouldn't have been Bruce Wayne, but someone who was impersonating Bruce Wayne.
That actually would have been way
Yeah, that
fucking
sounds
cool.
cool.
That actually would have
That
been
sounds
pretty
a lot
cool.
like Metal
Danny,
Gear.
Danny, I
awesome.
see what you're doing here, Danny.
Yes, we see
I see what you're
exactly
doing there,
what you're
Danny.
doing here, Danny.
I see
You know,
doing
Bruce
that.
Bruce Wayne's a pretty big guy.
No,
Yep,
Danny.
yep. We get what
You
you're
might
getting
call
at
him
there.
Big Bruce.
Do you get what
Oh,
you're
I
doing?
thought you were gonna say that he was too big for you.
Big,
Oh no, fuck
big
that.
bat.
Bane posting is dead.
Hey, Danny, you still do it.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Lie to yourself.
You did it last week.
Damn, receipts. I will say one thing about Arkham Knight. When I was playing that game, I loved that game when I was playing it. And then I finished it. And it's one of the few times I'm like, I'm really wrong about something. Like, I'm just off. I'm not saying I'm right all the time, but, like, my instincts are off in a weird way. Because the more I, like, become detracted from it, the more I think, wait a second. This has a thing. Like, why? It's like, well, why is 75% of this game in a tank? Or why is, like, most of the missions just incredibly boring repeatables? Like, trapped behind the... I'll admit, the radial dial system is interesting. And it's a good way of, like, organizing what you want to do. And, like, it's really a good way for orienting what you want to do in the world. But, like, it's like, oh, you have to get Two-Face, so it's literally the exact same thing 5 times. Or the worst one is, like, Firefly, where you just have to chase
Oh,
Firefly
God.
Yeah,
5
just
different
chase
times.
Firefly.
Those were fucking terrible.
Like, come
Yeah,
on, man.
chase him.
Even
And
for
then-
open world filler, Jesus, come on.
There was so much bad open world filler in there. And I mean,
Yeah.
and let me say this. You can tell this is the most disappointing game of the year for me because, apart from what I just said, but this is the Batman series is one of my favorite series of all time. I do not sell video games. I sold my copy of Arkham Knight
Oh,
2 days after I beat it.
Oh. Now see, I found myself I had enjoyed Arkham Knight again while I was playing it, and then whenever I was playing it, I was like, man, this is like one of the funner games I've played this year. And then once I finished it, I'm like, it wasn't one of the best games of this year. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I was just like, it's to me, I didn't think that it was like terrible and entirely offensive, but I did find that it was just nothing. It was one of the more nothing games to be made.
I feel like this game and Metal Gear Solid 5 have a lot of similarities.
Yeah, they really do, don't they?
Because they're both the final chapter to a long, winding series that most people consider to be pretty good.
Yep.
And they're both nothing games.
I just don't agree
Yep.
with that.
Let me say this about
like
Metal
I
Gear in
said.
comparison to Batman,
Okay.
though. Batman, everything new that Batman brought to the table was shit.
Yeah.
With, like, maybe the exception of the cool animations for the car.
That was pretty badass.
At least with Metal Gear, it completely overhauled the movement and combat system, and that
Yeah.
felt fantastic.
Yeah.
That was, like, kind of a game changer in a lot of ways.
They gave us a new game.
But
Well, they gave us half a new game.
Well, yes, half of a new game, but still.
That's disingenuous. Half a game, they didn't give us half a game. I don't.
they gave.
I don't
I
think
mean,
gave
I
us
spent more
half a
time in Metal
game.
Gear than I spent in many full games. So, but
Doesn't make
Yeah,
it a full game.
I'm just very strongly anti Arkham Knight. Anyway,
Fair enough.
RJ, do you have something to say?
I love Batman. I don't play that game.
Well, there you go.
I also love Metal Gear, and I put in a lot of dedication for Metal Gear Solid 5. I played it on this shitty laptop for 20 frames a second for 100 hours.
Oh God!
No.
I
RJ,
admire
no.
your dedication.
Man, that
I'm
60
clapping.
frames was sweet.
20 frames was also the highest I believe you got.
Yes, that was the highest.
Your average was
No.
like 15, right?
Average, maybe 15.
RJ, I'm crying right now. I'm sorry.
Oh, this is upsetting.
It's like, yeah, I admire your tenacity.
And why was that, RJ? Why did you put so much
Because-
dedication into it?
Well, one, because I love Metal Gear. Metal Gear is probably my favorite game franchise. And regardless of all the story stuff, which honestly the story stuff is what makes it such a big disappointment, and how a lot of the second chapter missions were redos, but still it was a really fun game, which makes it all the worse, really. But the gameplay it's the best Metal Gear gameplay.
I agree.
But overall, disappointment. Take a sip of Dr. Pepper. Move on.
Okay, so is it me now or
I
is
believe so.
the RJ?
Yes.
Okay, now there's something I've been putting up for a lot. Just to let this know, my most disappointing is easily Metal Gear Solid 5. That's easily my most disappointing. But we've been talking a lot about
We've
that.
covered that, I think.
So I wanted to take it up to another level for another disappointing thing that I've had this entire year. The ending to Life is Strange.
Oh my goodness.
I
Man, I wanted to play that. I don't know.
it don't 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 don't
Don't.
This is
the first.
Will's
It's like,
warning.
okay, look, here's the thing. You've got some pretty cool episodes because that game's actually a pretty cool sit whenever you're doing it. It builds and it builds and you keep wanting to play, you keep wanting to figure out everything that's happening. It's so interesting. And then it ends in such a fucking whimper. It ends it's the ending is a yes or it's like a yes or no question. You answer it, all of your other decisions, they don't matter. Fuck them. You already answered your question.
That Mass Effect 3T. Delicious.
It's worse than Mass Effect 3. It's so much worse than Mass
Jesus!
Effect 3. Because what it does is it literally takes away everything that you did. It deletes it. It deletes all of your shit.
What?
Or it's like this. You either get to have all of your this is what the ending choice is. You can either go back in time and kill the chick you've been with the entire time, and then this huge storm that's been building up, some reason it just stops. It's not there anymore. The storm's not there because you went back and let this chick die. Uh, if if you have her live, the entire town is destroyed, so every decision that you make doesn't even matter because all that you do is just let the girl live. So you either have all of your decisions be destroyed by a giant storm, or have all of your decisions be erased because you went back in time to change it. So in other words,
You get a green explosion or no explosion.
Oh.
Yes.
It's so bad.
Does that put you in the retro zone sad face?
it puts
Wait,
me
what?
in the retro zone sad face.
Fucking
It's
Christ.
I saw
That's
the
the
one reason
dialogue.
I
That's
didn't.
the dialogue.
That's the one reason I didn't want to play it. I saw a trailer and it was described as Juno for the adventure game people, and I was like, this is not for me.
It's and the thing is that it is a game that actually does have some intrigue into it, and it gets pretty interesting. And then there's just a point where it's like you get to the very end, none of it mattered. Why play the game at all? It really is a game where it's just
Because it's about the journey and not the destination.
fuck the
Well,
journey. Fuck that
Damn,
shit.
man. Damn.
Fuck it. Your ending was unsatisfying, and I did not like it.
Alright.
And also didn't make any fucking sense.
So,
Yes, that'll be on my tombstone. My ending was stupid. I don't like it.
so I think we covered everybody here. Oh wait, oh did we? Because a new challenger just approached.
Challenger.
A new challenger.
Oh no!
Speaking of new challengers, real quick, because we have some time to kill. What do you guys think of Bayonetta and Smash?
That's awesome.
Cool.
It's the
We're
great.
Shovel
I
It's
think
the
it's
great.
great.
It's the greatest
fucking Shovel
thing
Knight.
that could have happened besides Snake coming back.
No.
Well, Snake was
Shovel
never
Knight should have been in
gonna
that
come
goddamn game.
No, Bayonetta.
Oh my god, it's loud.
Bayonetta
Whoa.
is the best
Oh,
non-bringing back character.
who just
Y'all make me fucking pause Lord of the Rings.
who
be
just
in the
teleported
game
into this?
podcast. Jesus.
It's a
That's
great
one question.
intro.
What movie is it?
We didn't ask you to
Return of
turn
the
off
King.
Lord of the Rings.
Alright,
Return of the
okay.
King. Do you want me to like play it in the background?
No,
No,
that's a bad idea.
no, it's all fine.
The new challenger, the Lord of the Rings cast.
Introduce yourself, new challenger.
Hi, I'm Maddie.
Ooh,
She's on
who
the
are
other
you?
one too.
Where are you from?
My name's Madison. I'm from Toledo, Ohio.
Man.
I've been in
Ohio.
AA for
I
8
knew you were
months.
going this way.
All right.
No,
So,
I'm Madison from
we just-
the other one.
We
Hi.
just covered our most disappointing games of the year. Do you have a disappointment that you'd like to share with us?
Not really.
All right.
I mean, I'm
Must
really
be
easy to
nice.
please, y'all.
So
Must be nice.
what wins then?
So now we have to decide what the biggest disappointment of this year is, because we all
What
have
are the
different.
pretenders? Let me decide.
Bad idea.
No, I want to know.
That is
That's
a
a bad
bad.
idea.
I think it's a good idea. I think you all need to tell me what they were.
RJ and I said Metal Gear.
Mm.
Will says Life is Strange.
I also agree with Metal Gear though.
Okay. Ott said Arkham Knight, and Chu said Hotline Miami 2.
Here's the vibe about Metal Gear. Even if the story is disappointing, the
Have you
fucking
beaten it?
mechanics in that game. No, I have not.
Okay.
Even if the story is disappointing or whatever, the fucking mechanics in that game are absolutely insane.
True.
True.
So I don't
okay.
think that should
Yes.
be added. And I also think that it's one of the most like, granted I've only had this console for like a couple months, but it's like the most next gen experience I've had so far.
I will say
So
one thing.
I don't think it's that disappointing. Like, I understand where you're coming from, but
But it's not just the story that I'm bitching
I
about.
loved MGS5. I loved that fucking game.
there's so much you can do in it.
That
It's
game
like,
wins most disappointing game here. Simply because like clearly the tide is against all the other games. Like Hotline 2 really disappointed me, but that's just kind of me. Batman really disappointed. Actually, that's a few
Well,
less. But
I know I'm not going to win this fight, but I think
We-
Metal Gear does enough shit that is kind of revolutionary
yeah,
that it disqualifies it for me. Batman doesn't do
Personally,
anything new.
What does it do that's
good.
revolutionary? Like,
I think
please
as a
inform me.
third-person action game, I
As
don't
a
think you
third-person
can
action
find a
game.
better playing one. I don't think you can. I really don't think you
cannot.
can.
How?
I agree.
In terms of a
How
shooter,
how is an open world that has almost fucking nothing in it, like,
It's an open world with nothing but like small
It's a hub.
towns and
It's a hub.
shit
It's not
like
an open world.
yeah, it's not
But-
a
Metal
full.
Gear
It's
is
like
tearing us
it's more like
apart.
Deus Ex, no?
I fail to see, like, I get where you guys are coming from in that, wow, the choices of infiltrating levels is good, and I completely agree there. The choices that you have in infiltrating a lot of those bases and shit is fun, but infiltrating the same base 3 times over is not okay. I don't think that's a good
My
choice.
thing is, I don't think that's done as a mistake. I think that's done intentionally.
I think it's a shitty choice.
but yeah, it's still disappointing.
You know what?
That's
I'm gonna go with Batman. I only thought I wouldn't get support for for the other game, but I'm gonna go with Batman. So, what is our count right now?
I never played Batman, so I'll count that one because I didn't want to
Well,
play
now
it.
we're fucking tied. It's 3 for Metal Gear, 3 for Batman.
Let me say this. Let me say this about Metal Gear. Not
Should
apart
be
from
a
the
tie.
infiltration, the actual act of stealth and
Is,
the whole sort of the sneaking mechanics feel for the first time in my life. Sneaking has felt just as like empowering and rewarding as doing the
Going
whole
in
gun
guns
shooty.
blazing.
Yeah, power
Yeah,
fantasy. It
I
felt
agree.
as cool as powerful, which
Wait,
I agree.
is a hell of a feat for me.
are you?
That's a subjective opinion, obviously, but
Yeah, but well, I don't know. I've always felt that, like, the way to play the Metal Gear games is you try your best to sneak through it. It feels really good to get through a level without alerting anybody.
my
You know?
thing though is it's you have so many tools and the fundamental way the game plays, the degree of motion in the game makes that easier. In a way, I don't think I played in any other stealth game.
Well, but like 3
That's
was third person as well, and so
But
was
that
4
game doesn't
and
control
PS4.
but they were clunky as
Neither
shit
is
even for
4.
the time.
That's what I'm saying.
I just like this is the final chapter to a game series that has been around since 1998, and the first
Well,
act. I
technically,
completely agree with you
That-
guys. Yeah, longer than that actually, because
yeah,
it's been around since NES games.
1987.
Yeah,
It's on
like-
MSX.
or something like that,
like
or 82.
the first act is incredible, but shit, honestly, the game might have even been better without that fucking second act.
Probably would have.
The second act
It
put
would've
such
been.
a bad
I think it
taste in
would've
my
been
mouth.
better.
I can't
It
like.
would've.
I can't look past rehashes and leaving so many stories like lines
Only
just
two characters.
resolved.
Only like two characters get an actual like character arc, and one of them doesn't ever appear in another Metal Gear game again.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna make a case for Arkham Knight as the most disappointing game, and this is coming from someone who's loved both games, and I can definitely see if it somehow comes down to that Metal Gear wins, I will definitely concede. Okay, I see why. Batman is a game I enjoyed a lot when I beat it, and when I was playing when I beat it. But when I beat it, literally hours after, I'm like, wait a second, what did I what did I do? And I started to really think about it. And you think about the way the game's missions are designed, they're not really that fun. I mean, like Arkham's combat, it is what it is, and it really works only because it's Batman. Like they try to apply that to other games, like Mad Max's combat was bad.
Fuck Mad Max. That game was so bad.
Like
Holy
Shadow of
I never
fuck.
Mordor, I do
never
like Shadow of
played it.
Mordor a lot, but like it's not as good as Batman because it's Batman. Like the combat was designed with that character in mind, and then sort of like trans like grafted onto all these other games. But you really start to think about the things that Batman did well in the past and what did it do well here. Okay, so the story it doesn't do as well here. Like the puzzles are crap. Some of the stuff that even when it wasn't that good still had interesting elements like Scarecrow boss battle in the original game or even like
Mm.
Dr. Freeze in Arkham City. The boss battles are just not good here at all, really.
Or
And the
even
combat is
there.
what it is. Yeah. I mean, but there it was more
Okay.
interesting at some point.
Oh, that
Look,
And if we want to talk about DLC, man, I don't
And
think
let's
there's
talk
been
about
a
the
worse
PC
season
version.
pass. Oh, and the PC version, which might I add, was sold and then delayed to October and then
And then sold
sold
again.
and then pulled again.
And it still
Might I
can't
add.
fucking run for a
That's
lot of
all I'll
people.
say about that.
Ouch.
Like it's
That's
I mean I
embarrassing.
know there are sentiments about Metal Gear that I really do get, especially and I haven't watched the Metal Gear like fan base for years. I understand there's a lot of emotion that you have to have about Kojima. I don't think you can come away from Kojima feeling indifferent. I don't know how that's even possible, given the way he makes his games. But like the more I think about Batman, the more I think, man, I could have been doing a lot of things in June. Why wasn't I doing those things?
you, you know.
That's kind of
Wait,
how I
hold
think
on.
about it.
One thing that I'm surprised hasn't been mentioned about Metal Gear yet is that Metal Gear Solid is a series that's known for having boss fights that are great.
That's true.
Yes.
Metal
Yeah.
Gear
And
Yeah.
and
MGS5
Metal Gear
does
Solid
not.
5 has maybe two
Yeah.
out
Maybe
of
Okay, that's
two,
fair.
like
That's
maybe
That
fair.
is
two
fair.
even decent.
yeah, maybe
yeah,
I like the quiet.
two.
I like the
No, yeah,
quiet
it has
boss battle.
two.
That was
Yeah, I
interesting.
yeah
thought
the
the quiet
quiet.
boss
It
was
has
a lot of
quiet
fun.
and it has man on fire, and that's.
Yes.
Oh,
What
well,
about Sahelanthropus?
I do
Sahelanthropus.
not count the
Sahelanthropus is
Sahelanthropus as a
terrible.
boss fight either. You
Uh,
run
Yeah,
from it.
Sahelanthropus. I mean,
I don't hate it,
Even
but it's
even
not
if he
good.
is a boss fight, he's a terrible boss fight. Shoot rockets at it
yeah.
until it's dead. Just
Yeah.
run around
Well,
and make. Well,
but
wait,
that's a
no,
boss fight.
shoot rockets at it until it's dead. But there's also the fact that it has terrible ways of just one hitting you, or hitting you down to where you're at like one health, and then easily hitting you again. It's like
See,
moves are fast, do too much fucking damage,
yeah.
shit like
Okay,
that.
though.
okay. Hear me
Wait,
out on
what?
this. Hear me out on
Okay.
this.
All right, go.
Arkham Knight didn't fuck the canon.
Oh,
Yeah, that's very
What?
true.
All I'm gonna say, fucking parasites.
Well,
That was a
okay.
bigger slap in
In
the face than
fairness,
nanomachines.
in
That was a
fairness,
bigger slap in the face than nanomachines.
they're not on the same. They're not on the same scale though, in a way though, because Batman has so much to work with. Metal Gear basically just had the games.
Metal Gear
So
has a
whatever
shitload
the
to
hell
work
Metal Gear
with.
Arkham
has
Knight.
Kojima.
You have 28 years worth of games.
You have
almost
75 years
100.
worth of Batman.
That's
Yeah,
that's irrelevant
I
right
don't
now.
know about
And
that,
you
Dan.
can't
They
do anything
both
except the fucking
Wait.
Joker.
they both have
Four
tons
games.
of shit to work with though.
I just don't
And,
think the
and
stuff
Metal
with the
Gear is
parasites.
taking place in the most interesting part of the timeline, where you can
True.
have Big Boss become a villain, and you have Frank Yeager running around in Africa, and you have Solidus Snake raising child soldiers, and you have Raiden becoming the most notorious child soldier of all time, and you have Foxhound Unit being established, and you have
That's the
Outer
question,
Heaven
though.
being established, and none
How
of
could-
that is mentioned in Metal Gear
I have a
Solid
question.
5.
Okay, here's the question though: how could they fit that all into one game?
Metal Gear
That's
I
just a
think
Solid
lot
4
of
did it.
that's a lot of
good.
strands,
No,
and
I
they'd
think
have
it's
to like wound them. with the
Well, no,
last
because
one.
they're all in the same region. Frank
Yeah,
Yeager
they're
was in
all
the Middle
happening
East.
there.
they're all
Solidus
it's
Snake
all in
was in
Africa.
Africa.
It's instead
Outer
of
Heaven
having,
was in Africa. Zanzibar Land is in Africa. All
So
of
it's
that
like
place they
instead of
literally
having
picked.
all of this cool stuff happening, we just have Big Boss just
We
running
don't even
around
have Big
doing
Boss.
stupid shit. Yeah, and also instead of giving us the characters that we know, we add characters.
Right.
That don't
Where-
show up in the series at all. And this is the final chapter, the missing link. That's my biggest gripe with Metal Gear Solid 5. Above
Okay.
anything, it's a missing link that adds in nothing except more plot holes. No, I take that back. It fixes one thing. It fixes the ending to Metal Gear 1.
Yeah.
For the MSX.
Yeah,
It
links
fixes the ending by saying, "Oh, well, here's why Big Boss at the end of Metal Gear 1 dies." And doesn't
Yeah.
say anything.
And,
There's
and then,
why.
and then it just sits there with its mouth shut, staring into the void.
Well,
Clearly, we have feelings
fact.
about both of these games.
I just,
well,
I
Why
just
can't
think
it just be a tie?
no,
I
it
think-
can't.
It
Because
can't be a
one
tie.
game I fundamentally came away with going like, man, that was my like that was a
know.
moment for me in 2015. I'm like, this is again, I know even though we have different feelings about the game, Batman fundamentally, whether you liked it or not, and I did like it. I feel so
Yeah.
indifferent about it at this
Yeah.
point that I can barely even remember some of the things that happened in that game.
So would
Like,
we argue that it's bland?
Like
Yeah,
you
No,
said,
but here's the thing,
It's
though,
not
that's an
bland, it's
excellent
bad.
series. It's an
not
excellent
bland, it's
series,
bad.
though. So even if it was bland, that's still disappointing.
goes from being
think.
one of my favorite games of all time, first one of the series, to the first game I have actually sold because I hated it that much in since
Well,
the Force
this-
Unleashed.
Games. Yeah.
This is the final part of one of my favorite series of all time, like favorite
Likewise.
series entirely, and it's just a nothing game. Well, it's a good game,
Likewise.
but it does terrible shit to the canon.
Well, look.
That's the thing, though.
look.
It's a good game, though.
I don't think it's
Yeah,
a game.
Batman's not a good game. It does the same
Yeah,
shit
it's not.
and then adds bad shit.
But
I
that
feel
doesn't
like
change
the
the
best game of
disappointment,
the year
man.
argument won't be as passionate as this.
I don't
Honestly,
think-
it won't. This is the big one.
Yeah, this is the big one.
one.
This is the one we're fighting.
Knives are out.
like that we're fighting over
we've gone to
this.
blades here. These
I
are
know.
swords. These are
You know what?
knives.
My games suck more.
Sorry?
I'm gonna break the tie.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Oh.
But I don't want to because I really enjoyed Metal Gear
My
despite
thing
all
is,
of.
if you don't want to, you shouldn't have to at some point.
I know, but I don't
Yeah.
want to fight anymore.
Oh, come
So,
on.
like, I'm sorry. I can't. The more I think about it, and the more I think about how much a good time I had with Metal Gear, I can't let
Yeah,
Batman
like,
that has gotten worse in my mind over time.
You're right. I can't do it.
I
had
can't let
so-
it.
Wait,
I can't
I
okay,
let it
still
but-
have
but hear
been
me out on
playing
this,
Metal
Chew.
Gear, and I'm having fun
Okay.
playing it.
Are
and
you
I
a
can't.
bigger fan of the Arkham series than you are of the Metal Gear series?
Me?
No.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
no.
a good question. Because,
I'm not.
all right, I'll put it this way: Metal Gear is a game that I have watched from since that first game came out. I went to my cousin's house around when that game came out. I'm like, this game is really interesting. This game is really cool. And at that time, it intimidated me because I was like 6 or 7. And it's a game I've silently watched and really respected the whole time up until I decided to play MGS1 and go through the stuff in MGS2 and 3 and 4 and all that stuff. But if we're talking about ones we have a bigger attachment to, that's hard. That's a hard one because you can make the argument that I should have a bigger attachment to Batman because Batman's been around longer, in my life. But
No,
I
not
feel in
Batman,
ter-
just the Arkham games. I think that's a very clear distinction that I need to make because I love Batman as well.
I do also.
I do.
okay,
my
that's
favorite
fair. But I
superhero.
think that's kind of like taking away the power
Yeah.
of Cold War's resonance by saying exclude the rest of Star Wars. It does factor
Yeah, I
into
can't.
you might like
Yeah,
the
the
game.
zeitgeist.
Well, in that
still a
case,
factor.
my most disappointing game is Battlefront because I fucking love Star Wars to death.
Oh, okay, I will
you
entertain
know
that
what's
argument.
funny?
I will
You know what's
entertain that
funny?
argument.
Let me, give me a second.
You know what?
I
Battlefront.
totally forgot
I'm okay
about
with
that.
Battlefront.
I
I'm
totally
actually
forgot
okay with
about
Battlefront.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
This whole
fuck.
time.
I also forgot about Battlefront.
Can I
But
say
no,
my
it's
piece about
still Metal
Battlefront?
Gear for me because
I
I
will
didn't
say-
play the Battlefront games as a kid, but I love Star Wars.
Okay.
I played Battlefront as a kid.
All right.
I
So here
love
are our
Battlefront.
options.
I was playing Battlefront yesterday. Battlefront 2.
All right. Here are our options.
Real quick before you say this, Chew, sorry. Did you know there's a way to play Battlefront 2 on the PC online?
Yeah, there is.
Yes. Isn't there still?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
We
thing.
should do that sometime.
We should do that.
It's a fun
Me
game.
too.
But
Me too,
yeah.
guys. Me too.
Man,
But
fucking
okay, okay. We put the knives down. Now we gotta pick them back up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what I'll say. Okay, our options are clearly Metal Gear, Batman, and Star Wars.
Apparently, Star Wars
Okay.
dead.
I
I'll go
will.
with
I will.
Battlefront because that's the one
Here's
that
what I'll
I
say.
played and was disappointed by.
Here's what I'll say about Battlefront. Okay, let's look at these games on
It looks
paper.
good.
Arkham has problems.
Wait,
right.
wait, but guys, Battlefront's fun. That means it's a good game, right?
Oh.
But here's my thing.
Oh
Here's my
shit!
thing. You
Oh, it's not like it's lacking.
Like,
Is it lacking content? Is Battlefront
No.
lacking?
Well,
Wow, I
not-
wonder what game also is lacking. Oh, Metal Gear 5. Wow.
No,
crazy.
it's not. No, it's not. If we're talking
I
about
don't
time to
think so.
play,
Compared to
I don't
Battlefront,
think
no,
so.
fucking not.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's
Okay,
all.
well that's a little bit of a...
And the
Well,
fun
what Metal Gear
aspect of-
does is ruin the canon. Not
Hey
so
man,
much that
no.
it doesn't.
Okay, Metal Gear
have
literally had a
content.
chapter chopped off.
Okay,
Yes,
but like
it did.
Battlefront is okay. Let me put it to
A
you this
chapter
way.
and a half. A chapter and a
I'm
half
from
was cut
Canada.
off.
I'm from Canada, right? Games are really expensive up here because our dollar is doing really bad. So let me put you in perspective with the
Okay,
value
I already
proposition.
understand that. Yeah, Battlefront's not worth $60. Metal Gear
No,
5
no,
is.
oh no. Here's the thing, though.
Yep.
Here's the thing. It's not even $60 here. That game is $90 here.
Don't
And
get the season pass.
Is $70. $70
What?
for the season pass. Like it's
Yeah.
$160 for this game.
That's
Oh,
a lot of
shit.
money for
That's-
4 maps.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna. Okay.
A lot of
I'm
money
gonna
for
end-
a demo.
I'm gonna end my case in point by saying, getting a little real here, and saying, at the end of Metal Gear Solid 2, I thought I'd play the most genius game ever written, and I fell in love with it. At the end of Metal Gear Solid 3, I cried for a good while,
Me too.
and it really shook me to the core, and I loved all of the characters. I loved Goofy Revolver Ocelot. I loved Big Boss's turn from naive and innocent to war criminal and vengeance and all that shit and how wrathful he is. And I loved Eva and I loved Vol'jin and how like goddamn despicable he was. I loved all the characters, and to end that game it really felt like a just wow, this is why I love games. I connected with this game, and I wouldn't have connected with it if it was just a movie. And at the end of Metal Gear Solid 5, instead of having my mind blown or crying my eyes out because I just watched, the turn of a hero, I went, is that it?
Oh.
And that,
Yeah.
I think, is why Metal Gear Solid 5 is the biggest disappointment for me.
Yeah,
because I
that's-
expected more from
I
the
felt-
franchise that has ended on such booms and bangs.
I
And
felt
that's
the
my
same
final
way.
case in point.
Yeah.
I felt the same
That's
way,
the
and
last
it's
thing I'm
kind
going
of
to say about it.
it's like what I said during one of the podcasts. Wherever I thought I was halfway through with the game, I was 2 levels from the end.
And just looking back on it, there's no torture sequence. There's
Well,
You
there's
do
no,
some
like-
torture.
What? Don't you like fuck
That
up
one ain't-
quiet real bad?
no,
Fuck up.
no,
That one
no,
gets
like
tortured.
slamming like
Otakon
circles.
gets
You
kinda
get
fucked
you
up.
get you get
No,
tortured.
no,
You
guys.
do the slamming of X. Slam
Yeah.
the X button.
You don't
Mash it.
you don't have like that's like there were a lot of things that were traditional to every Metal Gear game, like where you have the button mashing sequence, and you have like the boss battle like group. Like you had the skulls, and those guys would have been cool if they all had personality, but they didn't. Like you have the unit that you have to go up against, then you have the big bad, and then you have the chase sequence at the end. And every Metal Gear has those feelings, or those things, those tropes. And this game had none, like nothing, like no
But is
tropes
that-
from Metal
Is
Gear
that such a bad thing
franchise.
though?
Absolutely.
But this
Look
is
at
the thing.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
But like,
Here-
Look
here-
at Kingdom
but
of the Crystal Skull,
But
man.
here's my thing though. The
Look at
game
the
is so
prequels.
it's so fundamentally designed in such a different way.
It's not a Metal Gear game.
It's
But,
for
okay,
people who've never
even if
played
it
a
doesn't
Metal
have
Gear
those
game before.
tropes,
I can't entertain that argument. I don't think that
even if
argument's
it doesn't
valid.
have those tropes, there's nothing to replace it.
See, I see that argument. That is fair. That's a fair thing to say.
We lose tropes and get nothing.
I still think when I just look at the games, if I'm to look at them, I don't have the same passion as Danny for obviously. I'm not sure. I don't want to speak for anyone else, but I don't think anyone else does quite as much. for that, for Metal Gear, but like
RJ and
Batman,
I are pretty.
I just can't
RJ, Will, and I are
think.
pretty passionate about Metal Gear.
Like
I'm pretty passionate.
I'm just thinking about Batman. Like even RJ said he's disappointed in Metal Gear. He still said he's had fun. But Batman, when you think about it, what? Just like what do you what do you take away from it and going, this is a shining example of what this did in the series. You can at least take away the game plays in Metal Gear and think, okay, this is a step forward. There are no I don't know what the steps forward are for Arkham Knight. It
There are
looks really
none. There are
nice.
steps backwards, and there are lateral steps. That's it.
Yeah.
There are steps left and right
Okay.
and backwards.
It
What
turned
if
it into a
Star
fucking
Wars?
Ubisoft game too.
What if
Oh, it
Star
did!
Wars?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it did.
What if the
Save all
original?
the firemen.
What if the original trilogy ended on Empire instead of Jedi?
Okay, what are you saying, Danny? Sorry.
What if the original trilogy had ended on Empire instead of Jedi? Empire made a lot of steps forward, but there were a lot of things at the end of Empire that just it's not a satisfying ending because it's the middle of the trilogy.
But the thing with Metal Gear is that we know the ultimate end of everything.
But
Yeah.
yes, but there is no. But this is supposed to be a missing link. There are a lot of questions that we still have that will never be answered, or at least won't be answered correctly.
How? Okay, so here's my other question then. How? I don't think they could have ever been answered the way I think anyone really wanted because this is in such an odd place in terms of the chronology. No, it's like
I
In
the
an
middle.
awesome
don't
place
think
of the
so.
chronology. It's in probably the best lore area of the chronology.
It's definitely the most interesting.
Yeah.
It's,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I love Metal Gear 3. I love
The one that's surrounded with the
prequel
most mystery,
feel.
I guess, and vagueness.
Yeah,
That
because
is
there
true.
are a
That
lot
is
of
true.
characters that were in this area that just nobody knows what was going on. Like I said, Frank Yeager's in that area. You got Solidus Snake raising his child soldiers. You have Raiden becoming the greatest child soldier to exist. Like shit like that.
And then
It's
the
all in
little
this
clones
area.
are being...
Yeah, and then of course you have Le Infant Terrible. And
Infants Terribles.
I don't, I'm
That's
really
not
offended by the
terrible.
fact that we're saying that you gotta say it this way. As a Canadian, I'm not happy.
Most
Pronounce this way.
infants terribles.
All right, guys, we gotta decide.
We gotta
Okay,
go.
so my vote is still for Batman.
My
I'm
votes for
voting for
Batman.
Metal Gear.
My vote's for Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
I'll say my most disappointing one because I actually played it was Battlefront. So I guess the
There we go.
votes equal Metal Gear.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
there you go.
Let's
Okay.
just move on.
Okay.
No,
And now
Let me
put-
just
put
say,
the next
okay.
down.
I want to
Put the
say
next
real
down.
quick, I
Put down.
completely understand where you guys are coming from.
Yeah.
No, those knives
I
are ready.
No, and I
think
understand where you're coming from.
you
too,
guys-
Danny.
other
yeah.
decoy
I think
knife.
there's mutual respect for each other's opinions here,
Yeah.
and it's fine.
Decoy
So let's
knife
get this
octopus.
negativity out of the air, and let's say, guys, what was the best soundtrack of any video game that
Fucking
you heard this year?
Undertale.
Undertale.
I can agree with Undertale.
Metal Gear Solid 5.
No,
I can
that's
see
licensed
that.
music.
I can
Licensed
see
music
that.
doesn't
I can
count.
see that too.
Licensed,
No.
licensed
Okay,
music doesn't count.
No, in my opinion, it does. It does count, and here's why it counts in my opinion. A lot of the licensed music in Metal Gear Solid 5 is aesthetic. Like it fits the
Yeah.
time in a really
Yeah.
interesting way.
I'm in
And
place.
the
Wait.
idea. What are you gonna say, Danny? I'm sorry.
I was just gonna. I think I misunderstood what you were saying. Continue.
Like having like stuff like Kids in America play while you're raiding a base.
Yeah.
It's a really
Yeah.
odd, jarring sensation, but it makes
Fucking
sense.
Well,
Joy
in
Division.
that case, my vote's for Fallout 4.
Ah, that's
That-
fine.
Okay,
fair,
okay, yeah, that's a good one.
I
That's
can
a good
understand
one.
that. Fallout 4 is okay.
Fallout
So let's
4
just go around and see what we got. I'll go first just because I know which one I had and actually wrote something
Yeah.
up about it. So
Yeah.
mine is Undertale, and here is why I would vote for Undertale. Undertale does the same thing in a way that Hotline Miami does, where it's a game designed kind of limitedly. It doesn't have that many pieces to it. But what it does, like the economy of design, it does so much, and the music is really really important because it gives a lot of personality and narrative like sinew to the game. Like there'll be certain boss battles that evoke certain emotions, given how these songs and like there's a lot of motifs that are played to the song, like especially like the main Undertale motif. I can't really hum it right now, but it plays through all the songs in a way that
It's
that's
like
one of them.
100 tracks long, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I have
great.
that
all
motif.
that.
I will
It's
say
101.
Megalovania is a really good track.
Like there's like
Yeah, Megalovania is awesome.
like if you can go look up Ascor. The Ascor track
Oh,
is one
oh
of
my
the best
God.
boss tracks I have heard in a decade. In a
I
flat decade.
I still
It's-
love the dog music mixed with whales from
Yeah.
Hail Mary Mallon.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I love
it's
it.
just there's so much. It's a really funny game,
I need
and
this game.
the music is really. It has a really
It's
good
good.
resonance with drawing out the personality of like that snow village is just a
The
blue
snow
village.
villages.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
but
it's
the
so
music
like.
makes it
I
like
love the
so
cave
much more
music
intense.
too.
Yeah,
it's one of the things where it's like you can hear the with Snowden, you hear the music and it just feels like fucking Christmas.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the connotation like it does like emotionally and what you think
Mm.
of. It's
Ooh.
really strangely precise. Like it knows. Again, keep in mind, Toby Fox did all this stuff himself.
Yeah. Which is
Like this
fucking
stuff, like
insane.
which is like that's 100 tracks plus all this other stuff, and it's just it's so connective in what it does. It does so much for that game that doesn't
And it
really
flows
have
really
much.
nicely too, like
Yeah,
from area to area.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, it's just it's
I
it's
I'd
great.
mine's
heard
also under.
pieces of the Undertale soundtrack before, and when I was listening to them, I was like, "Wow, this reminds me of another thing." And I looked it up, and I found out why it reminded me of another thing. And this is something. But I don't know how you guys are gonna react to this, but apparently Toby Fox was on like the team that composed a lot of the music for Homestuck, and I was really into
That's
Uh,
funny.
Homestuck in
No,
2012.
no,
Oh,
no.
And
I never got into
I'm
Homestuck. I
changing my
still
pick.
don't even
I
know
never
what
I'm
it
got
changing
it.
my
is.
pick.
look, all right, all right. The fandoms for
I'm
Undertale
kinda-
and Homestuck, I think that's just the same people for the
I'm
most
sure
part.
there's
Right?
some
I'm
Sounds
sure.
crossover.
about
No,
right.
it's
I'm
the
sure it's a
same
Venn
goddamn
diagram.
thing. It's the
Yeah.
same thing.
The Venn diagram for that is like a circle with a little blip.
I think
Like
my,
it's like
I'm
a
in the
cube.
blip because I never watched and I fucking love Undertale.
I
So
hate it.
Yeah.
I hate
Never watched
Homestuck.
Homestuck.
Hate
Never
it.
watched it.
I hate
It's
it,
a comic.
and it makes me
I
a
read
little
it.
angry that I enjoyed Undertale as much as I did. Cause I always I'm like something is not right
anyway,
here.
the
And I can't
fan
fucking-
base doesn't denote whether or not the music
No,
in the
no.
game is
Absolutely.
good.
I
I think
completely
Undertale's
agree.
music is just
It's fucking
phenomenal.
fantastic.
And another thing I'll say about it is because the game is genius in the way it plays on like what you expect, and so the
Yeah.
certain songs will start with like straight up NES
This
sort
year
of
was certainly a
synth.
year of subverting expectations. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
Yeah, it really has
and
been.
like so the song will start out with like a few bleeps, and then it'll kick into like different string samples and like really massive, sweeping, grandiose songs. And like at one point, I was listening to the main theme on the soundtrack is just called Undertale, and I was listening to all the pieces in that song, and it's like this is a lot. It's like giving me a headache. And if you just to think that making music on itself is hard. I know. That shit is maddening. Like you feel
Yeah.
angry sometimes. To think that he was doing that, juggling like the programming from the RPG and all the weird fucking things that happened in that game, and then doing some of the best writing of 2015. It's just
Yeah.
like that shouldn't affect how I feel about the soundtrack, but it has to. I'm like I
Yeah.
need to recognize
It's
how
all
really good that
interconnected.
is. Yeah. So that's my vote for Undertale.
Yeah, I think I vote for Undertale as well. You sold me.
Yeah.
Yay.
Let me
Yeah.
just say
All right.
this: as someone who doesn't, I accept Undertale winning because I have bad taste in music and don't know things about music. But I took a run yesterday. I was listening to Sins of the Father, and I felt like the baddest
Oh my
motherfucker that ever
Okay.
god.
lived.
I will
Little
say if we're doing
Father,
main themes,
oh
Sins of the Father
man.
is possibly one of the greatest
That
main
song is
themes.
Especially
fucking
when
I
good.
don't know.
Actually, like
Snake
quite.
Eaters are up there too.
I
think
was
Snake
about to
Eater's
so
say
good.
I was
Holy
about to
shit.
say I think we can all
Snake
agree
Eater.
maybe
I'm
Snake
sorry.
Eater is the best one.
I believe
think it's
Snake Eaters.
better.
Oh yeah.
Probably
Snake
of
Eater's
all time.
Snake
Yeah.
Eater's real good.
I really like the Metal Gear 2 theme a lot. The da 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 da. But
God,
yeah, Snake Eater's real good too.
I want
But
to play
yeah,
Snake
The
Eater
Father.
I
now.
think the best theme this year is without a doubt Sins of the Father. That song is
Especially
fucking
when
dope.
I can't remember her name, the singer who actually does like the vocals for it, but when she hits
Donna
the
Burke. Was it
Donna
Donna
Burke.
yeah, when
Yeah.
Donna Burke hits the chorus,
Yeah.
I'm like I get goosebumps. It's like this
Yeah.
is holy shit.
And for those of you who played Silent Hill 2, that's the voice of Angela.
Cool.
Donna Burke?
Oh right, right.
Or
Yep.
It is.
wait,
Wait, no. Donna
Yes, yeah.
Burke is the
Oh, that's-
iDroid in
Yeah,
in
Donna Burke is the-
GS5.
yeah, she's the iDroid, but she's also somebody from I think she's Angela, dude, from Silent Hill
Yeah,
2.
yeah, she
Yeah.
is Angela from Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
100%. And only to be redone by Mary Elizabeth McGlynn for the HD collection.
Who sings the Snake Eater theme song?
Who sings Snake Eater song.
It's
Yeah.
all
Are you
connected.
serious?
Yeah.
Why is
Yeah.
Snake Eater?
Wow.
Why is Metal Gear 3
I did
so
not know
fucking
that.
good?
Metal Gear
Metal Gear-
3 is fantastic.
The
Like,
only
what do we do
time
to deserve that game?
I ever like teared up during a Metal Gear game was when I was playing the boss battle at the end of 4, and then the Snake Eater theme kicks in midway through.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good one. The
I
boss,
was
the
like, oh
final
god.
boss, the final boss of MGS4 almost makes that entire game worth it.
Yeah, because Liquid
Yeah.
Snake is the best character in that fucking game.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Liquid Ocelot, my bad.
Liquid
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Liquid
Liquid
Yeah.
Ocelot.
Oh,
It's the weirdness of Ocelot mixed with the awesome like ambition of Liquid.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Ugh. Anyways, Undertale for me.
Undertale for me.
Undertale.
All right.
We win. What's
Undertale,
next?
Hey,
best
it's
soundtrack.
Undertale.
Wow, agreeing.
Yes, no knives were brought up on this one.
So, we played some games this year, guys.
We
Some
did.
Yeah.
of us did. Some
A
of us
couple.
didn't.
I played a
Yeah,
few.
someone's played some.
I played a couple.
I
But
played
before
too
we
many.
get to those
Expensive.
games, let's we have a Destiny category, which is essentially what game was real shit in previous years that got real good out of nowhere in this year. And there are a couple of games, and yeah, who wants to take that away? Best improvement.
Did you know that you can play fucking Smash Melee online?
Online, yeah,
So can that
Yeah.
count?
that
Oh,
can
Yes,
count.
that
is that
counts.
like on Dolphin or whatever?
There it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's you don't even have to fuck around with Hamachi either. You just connect.
Yep, it just happens.
Yeah.
It's like magic.
So that's a good one. My best improvement for me, honestly, is Hearthstone.
I've heard
Oh,
good
Okay.
things about it.
Wait, but that started out
that-
so good though.
Nah, I disagree.
I was
Well, it started out all right, but it's up there. It like I think it's getting close to surpassing MTG as probably the greatest trading card game out there right now.
damn.
It's
That's
fucking
high
good.
praise.
It's a perfect blend of like competitiveness with just raw fun. There's a lot of
Yeah.
elements of randomness that a lot of cards have that just they didn't have in the base game, and I really enjoy.
What's like pay to? Is there like a pay to win kind of thing
It
going on?
isn't.
No.
Not really,
Amazing.
no. Because everything you unlock, you can unlock by just playing the game, so you got that.
Oh.
But the way it works is you can't buy specific cards. You can only buy packs.
Okay.
And so, like, what you had, the issue with Magic the Gathering is it's super pay to win because you can buy specific cards from websites. You can
Yeah.
go online and look at the deck that's winning all the tourneys, buy that exact deck list, go to your Friday Night Magic, and just clean house. I used to do it a lot whenever I was like 16.
Yeah, my
Real-
asshole millionaire friends did that all the time in high school.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped playing Magic.
It's a super dick thing to do, but I'm going to tournaments, I'm cleaning house from these strangers who I don't really care about, and I'm making money. So it
Just
was
give
like
me
whatever.
fucking money and I'll fucking play these goddamn cards.
Yeah.
I'll play these
With
cards.
Hearthstone really does. At first, I didn't like it, but that you couldn't buy specific cards because I want to have a good deck. I want to But now it's like I think I've come around on that. I think that's a really good idea because everything's left up to this element of randomness that it takes actual work to get a good deck, and that game is fucking near impossible to start out on. I'm telling you right now. At where it's going, if you're thinking about playing Hearthstone, you better jump in right now because next year that game is going to have an impossible entry level. But
Okay.
as of right now, I think that game best improvement for me. Anyways, that's enough card game talk. I don't give a shit about that.
Anyways,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
Hearthstone, Melee. Who next?
Let me tell you all about Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh fuck! Are you
Sing us
playing
a song,
ESO?
Otta Lindstrom.
I don't have that strong of a feeling about this, but I played the beta back when it was in beta, and I thought it was shit. And then I played the re-release on PS4 this year, and it was a lot of fun. I think it does a pretty good job of sort of like melding Elder Scrolls and multiplayer. I don't like. I played for about 30 hours and was like, that's good. But yeah,
Wait,
it
can I have a
was
quick question?
very fun.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Did the HD re-release of Grand Theft Auto come out this year?
Oh, the
2015?
PC version did.
Yeah.
But the
But not
PS4 version came out
not
last
the
year.
PS4 version.
Okay.
That would win all years every year.
No, you can still nominate that though.
Well, I
still
didn't
counts.
play it for
It improved.
PC, so
Okay.
I just was
Yeah,
interested. I was just, you know.
Did any of y'all see that mod for GTA 5 that came out this year that was like, I think it was called Pinnacle of V?
No.
And you'll see
No.
that it's like a visual overhaul. My friend has a GTX 980 Ti, and we went and installed that thing, and it looks photorealistic.
Holy shit.
Shit.
It's fucking incredible.
Wow. People are magical.
Yeah, they sure are.
Anyway, but yeah, I don't have a horse in this fight. I think since we're calling this the Destiny category, that probably says a lot.
Yeah.
See, I mean, I'm torn because I have two, and I feel like I have to someone has to talk about Destiny at some point.
Yeah.
Like, but that's not what I
Do
want
they?
to win.
Okay. That's fine. You just want to mention it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? How about we just call it the Destiny Award for most improvement? Most
Yeah.
improvement.
Yeah.
I thought
No,
we
my
already
actual-
discussed this.
My actual one is Splatoon. This is
That came
my
out this
actual
year.
one because but here's why. When Splatoon launched, a lot of people gave it flack for not having enough content, and they're like, "Look, we know we have a plan, and that shit is down the pipe." And no shit, they were improving that game so monumentally, like every week almost. Like that thing, and especially I think it's really important to look at that because we look at a lot of multiplayer shooters this year. This was the year people thought they can get away with doing multiplayer only games, having no single player or anything like that, and then going,
Evolve.
"Where's the content?" You know what's fucked up? How did we not bring up Evolve and most disappointing?
Because that is the most nothing game of all
Yeah,
of them.
it was nothing, but it was nothing
Yeah.
to
It was
begin
nothing
with, and it ended
before,
up
and
being
it was
nothing.
nothing afterwards.
I
I
just
don't know,
remember
man,
seeing
it
people doing
was
esports commentary for that, and it was hilarious.
Nothing
No, the thing
before,
about
nothing
it-
in the middle, nothing after.
The
It's
thing
just
about it,
nothing.
two things. That was 2K trying to force the esports shit, which was sad. And the other thing is, that's the follow from the dudes that made Left 4 Dead. So I had expectations.
Yeah.
Left 4
Well,
Dead 1, I
no, I
love
feel
Left 4
you.
Dead 1.
Yeah. Will and I have had. I love Left 4 Dead 1. That's one of my favorite games ever. Left 4 Dead 2 as
So,
well. They're both fantastic. But
so the fact that they fucked it up so bad, although I will say I can almost guarantee that's not all their fault. Some of that's from the directive of 2K. I can almost guarantee that. But still, obviously they're their hand ultimately. But
Was
yeah,
that 2K?
yeah, it was 2K.
Yeah, it was 2K.
2K and Twitter Rock.
I thought it was Warner Brothers for some reason.
No, because Warner Brothers is
Your-
also
your-
shit. They have their all
Your,
shit
your
they do.
mind's on Batman, dude.
No, I
Yeah,
think we have
yeah,
that worst
maybe.
stab.
no,
that
not
worst
just
stab
Batman.
category.
Let's not forget the PC port of Mortal Kombat X.
Oh,
right.
If we're gonna
drag
have
them
that
through
should
the
be
fucking
after.
street.
Okay,
That should
that's
be after.
we need to push that back a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
RJ, what did you tell me about it? I real quick. RJ, what did
Uh,
you say about it?
I think I think for a while it just didn't work, but there's that new combat DLC pack that's having a bunch of a few characters or whatever, and I think that's just straight up not coming to PC. And they're also upgrading the
shit.
netcode, and they're also upgrading the netcode to rollback netcode, which everyone is really happy for, and that's also probably not coming to PC.
Oh my god.
So they're basically just I think no wait I think this is what I told Danny. I think they just straight up fired the team that made the PC port
Wow.
or something. Or they
Good.
just don't work for them anymore or
Good.
something.
God, that's sad.
I hope those people don't go into programming and find a different career. Because
Go
that
into
PC port
business.
was
Go into business.
But Splatoon,
wow. That's a fucked PC port, man.
Splatoon is a game. So, like I was saying, so a lot of multiplayer games from Evolve to Battlefront to even Siege, the content squeeze is very real. But Splatoon, I've never wanted for content since I booted that game up. Even when I didn't have the game, I was watching that game grow. And there are 12 maps or so, maybe 13. More than half of them are free. There's a bunch of free weapons and loadouts and tweaks and a bunch of community events. They really made good on the idea that look, we are going to support this game, and they have supported it right to the very end of the year.
That's very
And that-
surprising to come out of Nintendo.
Nintendo,
Yeah,
and that's
no
the final
shit.
piece. That's the final piece of what I was gonna say. And this is Nintendo. Like, EA, what the fuck are you doing with your game? 2K, what the fuck are you doing with your game? Warner Brothers, I ain't gonna talk about you.
Like
You'll
had
get
that
yours.
been like Valve, it'd be like, okay, well that's expected. But it's Nintendo is probably the furthest thing from Valve I can think of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and-
just no shit.
Anti-Valve.
Nintendo gives you a game and then just doesn't touch it. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I remember I played the test fire when it first came out, the beta, and it was fun then, and like people were talking about something not being that good, and then that disappeared because it runs amazingly. I've only ever had I played maybe probably 100 games. One time it lagged for me, only once, and we're not talking hard Ethernet, we're talking Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
Nintendo Wi-Fi at that point, and it's so smooth, and
If only they can
just
get rid of their friend code system.
Yeah.
hopefully it's NX. But I think just as a there are a few games that this year that are just such feel-good stories. I mean, it's been an
Yeah.
excellent year, but there's been a lot of caveats and stuff. But I think Splatoon, as a game constantly evolving and getting better, and really supporting the community, I don't think definitely on console there's not a single game that supported the multiplayer in such a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
what I'll say.
personally wasn't very into Splatoon the times that I've played it, but that is very interesting.
I think with Splatoon, once it clicks, there's certain things about it, but once you get your head around it, it's kind of you see it. You're like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay,
I see now why using motion controls is the only way to go. Like
Yeah.
I think using the joystick is garbage. Yeah, I couldn't do that, which makes no goddamn sense. Why would anyone be saying that? But it's true. It is true.
Alternate reality.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Makes me want to give it another try.
you should.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do you own it, RJ?
No, but I
Oh.
played it at a friend's house a few times.
Considering you only have Smash, should be a good game to pick up. I think.
Yeah.
And the award for most improved game goes to
Wait.
Minecraft Wii U.
What?
Yeah.
What?
You just
Oh
keep
my
getting out of
God.
the decision?
Minecraft
What are you,
Wii U.
Russia?
That's fun. That's fun. That's some fun shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah.
I forgot that was even a thing.
Can we
Played
talk about? Okay, does this count? Because I mean, look, Super Mario's been a game that's been around,
Mario
for
Maker
a
does
while.
not count.
Mario
Mario
Maker
Maker
doesn't
counts.
count.
I don't think Mario Maker counts.
No, I'm just kidding.
But the thing about Mario Maker, though, I mean, that
But my
would be
vote is still
Well,
for
that is another
Melee.
game that improved
Yeah.
a lot
Well-
since launch.
Will.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
don't
That would be a
have-
legitimate candidate, but I don't think it is
Not to the extent
improved
that
as.
Splatoon is.
Yeah, that's what I think. Cause like
Right.
they've done things to Mario Maker that's been like, yeah, that's a
Yeah,
really
they added
good.
in checkpoints. Don't know why that
Yes.
wasn't there in the beginning of the game.
I
but they
mean-
Yes,
added
why
it.
was that not there?
I can see
See, that's
why
an
it wasn't
improvement
though.
That's an improvement that should have been there in the beginning.
But, I
Like, I
mean,
get
that
that
game
you're
does.
adding stuff, but checkpoints should have been there.
Okay, well, put it this
You're-
way, like
You've
Splatoon.
improved
I mean,
your game to our expectation.
but here's the thing though, that's not my expectation. That game should not work nearly as well as it does, and it works really well.
What, Mario Maker?
Yeah, it does. It works amazingly well.
I thought it was
Like-
going to work well from the beginning. When I was told that
I
it's
know.
Little Big,
Comic-Con
when I was
was
told that
fucking
it's Little Big
delightful.
Planet with Mario, I was like, that
Yeah.
sounds incredible. Yeah.
Yeah,
Here's my
I kind
thing,
of had the
though.
same thing also. Honestly, I was
But
kind of
I don't
disappointed
know,
that there wasn't any checkpoints. Now that it has checkpoints, I feel like it's the game it should have been whenever it was launched.
Right.
I guess I don't know. I guess that's a different expectation. Having been just a damaged Nintendo fan for so many years and seeing
Yeah,
them
no,
fuck up
but wait,
over
wait.
and over again.
Yeah, have you guys never played like Mario mods like back in the day?
No,
No.
yeah, I have. Unlike
Yeah.
Those
emulators.
I'm not
Those
into
were-
that.
those
Those
were
are
fun
all
as shit.
weird and funky.
Yeah, I
That's
like
not,
making.
that doesn't have the
like,
same
weird
polish.
compilations.
That's not.
There
the
are a
same,
couple
like,
that definitely do. Like
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't think anyone can really match those polish.
The
When it comes
Cthulhu
down to it,
that was made.
like. But yeah,
I
I
used
mean,
to
Mario Maker would
play-
be. I just don't think it's as. I don't think it hangs with some of the other stuff.
I used
here.
to play a lot of Pokemon hacks. So
No,
like,
I
what's
don't.
that?
I don't like hacks. I like my
It's
shit
actually
As
pure.
far as ROM hacks goes, I used to play a lot of Mega Man ones.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, what's our list here?
So
Wait,
wait,
well, Will,
all I got Clouds and Smash. I mean,
so Smash.
yeah, there you go.
no, you know I'm gonna disqualify Cloud and Smash because that guy's fucking broken.
I love
He's
Cloud.
cheap.
Fuck
Look,
you.
He's
When-
cheap as shit.
I'm telling you
So
right
cheap.
now, this Violent Hill 7. Nice.
Violent Hill
Right.
7.
How did you even fuck up
Silent
that way?
Hill.
I can't even
Silent
make my
Hill
mouth
The
Seven.
place full of
Final-
file cabinets.
Final Fantasy.
They're haunted.
Final Fantasy
Also,
VII was one of my favorite games as a kid, and
I've
when
slept-
Will got Cloud over at his house, I was there the night that happened, and I played with him, and he played with him, and at the end, when that victory screen played the da 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 da
That's
da
pretty
da,
cool.
I felt goosebumps. I ain't gonna lie.
You're a
That-
fucking nerd, that's why.
You bet your
You're-
hot dang tootin' butt I am.
Hot dang tootin' butt.
Hot dang
Is that like a
Toomba.
Papa Roach song or something? I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's a line from Hateful Eight.
Hot dang too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a line from the Hateful Eight.
Something
So-
Got
watch
some
it.
Oh,
film
God.
jokes.
What
here.
wins?
So we got,
What wins?
What
so we got some
wins?
Smash. We got some other Smash. We got Splatoon.
Yeah, you
We
got
got-
those to smash.
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, and then what was Odds?
Elder Scrolls Online,
ESO.
but I don't.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't win.
Okay. Can we just say like Smash in general? Because I don't
I'll
know.
say-
I thought
I don't
Smash
know. I
was a
think that's
fine
not-
game.
But my
Like-
thing about the two Smashes, they're not done by the same person. They're not done by the
Yeah.
same group.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not
Like,
done
I mean,
with
I'll-
that.
Nine
So
Melee
no,
is fucking
it's
amazing.
Melee and 4. It's Melee and 4.
My vote is for PS4 Ultra Street Fighter 4. 'Cause
Oh.
that game was broken
Oh,
on launch,
you know
and now
what?
it works.
I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna scratch.
Yeah.
I'm
Actually,
gonna-
you know
Okay,
what?
yeah.
Yep, I'll go with that one too.
All right,
PS4.
PS4
Yeah.
Ultra Street Fighter 4. There we go.
That thing was
Yeah.
fucked.
But the
So
weird-
now
the
it's
weird-
awesome.
That went from fucked to being playable in.
To not just
Relative-
playable, it is tourney
Yeah.
standard now.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
to turn
but
these standard.
Battlefront gets there this year, right?
One thing
Ha.
that's
No.
weird
Fuck.
No.
about PS4.
Fuck it. I do kind of want to play as Kylo Ren.
Let's see if Battlefront gets like 8 more maps.
Okay,
Introduce
here's the
Kylo
thing
Ren.
about Battlefront. Like, I don't
It's
want to.
for
I don't want to.
Free.
I don't want to hash out my most
It's
important
space
thing. but
battles.
The thing about Battlefront is nothing can save that game unless it's a new game because it's mechanically lacking. No maps will save that. I don't think. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they didn't
Uh,
just make Battlefront
Battlefield.
Star Wars.
Why
Yeah.
did they not have? Why did they not put
Wait,
space battles in it?
Can I
That's
ask
what
you
I'm
guys
sad
real
about.
quick? Has anybody here done the vehicle combat yet?
It's
No,
not
but I
like-
hear it's fun.
it's not-
That vehicle
I don't-
combat is the
it's
funnest part of that
slow.
game.
No, I
What?
It's
You
weird
can't
and
I've heard
odd.
it's
access that
fun.
unless you get power-ups, which is the lamest
Yeah.
shit ever.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, it's just. My thing is, if this game was literally Star Wars skinned Battlefield, that would have been
shit,
perfect.
Since
That's
we're
all I
talking
wanted.
about Battlefront, what game had the best visuals of the year?
Battlefront.
I mean, we'll get to that.
Or-
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Witcher is also-
No, that's what we're doing
well,
right
no,
now.
wait,
That's the new
that's what
topic.
we're
We've
doing right
already
now.
settled.
What's the topic?
We're not even done.
What
The other
the
one.
last category? Everything's going crazy.
Yeah, we were. The
Okay,
biggest
okay,
improvement
Ultra
was
Street
Ultra
Fighter.
Street Fighter 4.
So
Yes.
hopefully someone's keeping a track of this.
I am.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
Ultra Street Fighter 4.
Yeah,
Okay, let's just hop into it. Best visuals.
All right, yeah, best
Metal Gear
visuals.
looks fucking good.
Bloodborne.
Yeah, I go Bloodborne.
Bloodborne looks
no,
fucking good,
no,
too.
no.
But it's a little dark.
Bloodborne
That's-
looks like all purpley and shitty.
But I love
Like-
it. It's.
I think
That's
it looks.
what-
I think it looks like bad, like cyberpunk, which
Witcher
is
You
looks
just
weird
you
because
just
it's
you just don't like
Victorian.
the thing that you wrote a
The
paper
chromatic
on.
aberration
Yeah.
ruins that game's visuals for me.
It's
It looks
true.
okay.
It's true. It does have chromatic aberration.
looks
but I still
real
think that
bad.
game. I still think that
Okay.
game
I
looks
like the
amazing.
game, but I like the art design, but I think that chromatic aberration shit like just make, it looks so bad.
I will
Witcher
give it
looks
to
really
Battlefront.
good.
I think.
Actually, yeah, Witcher.
Battlefront-
My vote's Witcher. I
My vote's
changed.
I'll go with Battlefront. Here's my thing with Battlefront. That game has disappointed me so massively as a Star Wars fan in fundamental ways that it can never fix until they make a new one. But visually, that's the best looking game of the year. I just
Yeah,
can't.
I-
It's the
It
best
does
looking
look
game.
really good.
Like I remember
Battlefront.
I was playing Endor randomly at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I hadn't played it yet, and then it was nighttime. And when that shit, like when I loaded, I'm like, is this? For a second, I had a thought. I'm like, all right, so when am I gonna start playing? Because it's 5 in the morning, so I wasn't all there, and I'm like, oh shit, this is the straight map. This looks. That's one of the best looking things I've seen in the PS4. Easy, no contest. I think that. I mean, sure they're working from a template that you know is Star Wars, but still, it just looks fantastic and it just gets so much
It does look
right.
good.
It's really, it looks
And-
incredible.
Has anybody
Yep.
here seen the Jakku map yet?
No.
No.
Wait.
No.
No,
No.
I haven't.
As long as they get that crash Star Destroyer right, then it's good.
Well, it takes place a year after Return of the Jedi. It's
Oh, right,
supposed
right.
to be
Shit.
the thing that makes Jakku go to shit.
Ooh.
So
So do you get to see that Star Destroyer crash?
you might get to see that Star Destroyer crash, or you might
Sick.
not.
That's
Oh,
pretty
that'd be
cool.
sick.
Revolution.
I'll watch a
bro.
YouTube video of that later.
Me
Yeah,
too.
YouTube that. I watch a Let's Play.
I'll let's play that.
I'll Let's Play that.
So yeah, I don't know. I think Witcher 3 is fucking gorgeous.
I-
For
Yeah,
how
yeah,
much
I
that
Witcher 3 is
game
agree.
fucking
has in it,
beautiful.
it shouldn't.
Except for the water. The water looks real bad.
The water doesn't look great.
Yeah.
But
But
I
yeah,
am
it has
in-
like this. Go on. Sorry.
It has like this storybook-esque like
Mhm.
visual style to it that I really dig. It reminds me a lot of like those really dramatic Brothers Grimm's fairy tale books that you could get like from
Yeah.
like Barnes and Nobles.
Yeah.
Like it reminds me a lot of that style. And one of the more interesting things that I like about the Souls games is how I feel like those games look like paintings, and to me, I think Witcher 3 captures that aesthetic pretty well.
Yeah, it's really sort of impressionistic
Yeah.
out of this
Mm.
main
So,
city.
Grass density. I'm gonna put it on ultra.
I wish I could do that.